Mic checks echo, I'm the sound of the brawl. Canvas creaks, flesh slaps, bodies rise and fall. Steel cage dreams, no escape. All pain, blood stains mixed with the sweat and the chain. Adrenaline surging my veins, spit fire. Crowd chants feeding my soul's desire. Turnbuckles tremble when my wrath collides. Glory's the belt and I'm taking the pride. Boom. The squared circle where legends collide. Boom. No mercy, just a wild ride. Boom. Lights flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom. The squared circle digest. Pyros ignite, shadows dance in the glow. Ringside roar, it's a gladiator show. Chokeholds tighter than the grip of the night. Climbing the ropes to new championship heights. The mental battlefield, no room for doubt. Every move calculated, every scream a shout. The bell tolls louder than a sinner's regret. This is the place where the bold never forget. Boom. The squared circle where legends collide. Boom. No mercy, just a wild ride. Boom. Lights flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom. The squared circle digest. Boom. The squared circle where legends collide. Boom. No mercy, just a wild ride. Boom. Lights flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom. The squared circle digest. Circle Digest!
We are live. It is 8p. The place to be. It is the Squared Circle Digest. I am Sean Stanley, joined as always by the great Frankie Fresco. But today, we multiply, my friends. We multiply. We got Bobby and Josh from the No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast on FTSN joining us. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing good, man. Thank you for having us.
Bobby, are you wearing a cardigan?
I am.
Like, I couldn't see it when you were in the small.
Wow, yeah, it is,
good.
isn't it?
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah.
Now, Bobby,
It's a little chilly.
Where are you located exactly?
I live in Franklin, Tennessee, near Nashville. It's a little chilly
yeah,
out today.
So you're in cold. Josh, where are you? Are you down here with us?
Tampa Bay.
Tampa
Bay. It's freezing. It was like 45 degrees today. It was pretty nippy today. I don't know. Where are you guys at?
I'm in South Miami, so Cutler Bay area. So close to like Homestead area.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm about 4 blocks from the stadium in Miami Gardens. So
there you go.
Yes.
I miss going out to Miami, man. I used to be in the beer, like hardcore into like craft beer. And Jay Wakefield is a brewery out there that I used to drive to and wait in line for their beer. There's a lot of great spots out there. I miss Miami, but I don't miss the traffic. Like, I know my Tampa traffic is bad, but y'all, chill with the horns. Like, if every time I go to Miami, it's like the light just turned green. Honk, honk, honk. Chill, bro. Like, where are we going?
Sometimes the light don't even turn green. They're already hitting the horn before the light turns green. They're just all the other one turned red, so they know it's coming. It's just beep, a little bit quick. But yeah, that must have been down in Wynwood, right? The beers, the area. Okay.
Yeah.
So when was the last time you guys have been down here in South Florida? Bobby?
Me.
Last time I was down there was for my stepfather's funeral. He had passed away, so we went down there. So thank you, Frankie. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, way to bring it up, Frankie. Way to go. We start this show off with
I had finally, gotten over it, not gotten over it, but like kind of like I'm in a better place, and you just bring me right back down. So this was kind of an attack, a personal attack that I just felt. I don't know if I want to. That was the last time was for Ralph's funeral. But I'll be back down there in February for the Dolphins Cancer Challenge, doing the 5K. So we'll be down there from February 25th, I think, to March 3rd or 4th. So so I'll be back in town. Yeah, man, 100%, brother.
And you, Josh?
Honestly, I used to only drive down for beer and drive back up. So You guys, you have no idea. Like the resale market back in the day before COVID was pretty insane. If you got a Jay Wakefield bottle, like a double barrel bourbon, like you could sell that for a good $600. So you guys have no idea. So yeah, we used to drive down there, but that's the only reason why we would go. I haven't been to a Dolphins game since Mike Wallace was on the team because I went with Viking Dave and they played the Vikings and Mike Wallace scored 2 touchdowns to win for the Dolphins, and he also won me a fantasy football championship that week. So that's my last time in Miami.
Are you ready to go again this season? Are you excited? New fresh start, fresh. You ready?
Oh, the Dolphins? Oh
Yeah,
no,
man.
I'm gonna drive it, dude. I'm not. Listen, I'm at an age now where I'm 40. I'm not going to an NFL game, brother. Like that's a lot of walking and driving and parking, and I'll stick to the hockey games where it's only like 17,000 people instead of like 60,000. Like that's a lot of people, man.
Let me tell you something. Seattle is worse than here, man. We went to a game in Seattle, and they literally have all the fans go in one area, and then the media goes in on another area. But they don't tell you that. So you go to get your credentials in one area, then you got to walk the whole stadium. They don't let you in the stadium. You got to walk around the outside as you hear everything going on, and then go. I must have lost about. I was probably in the best shape of my life after that walk. But yeah, that's just.
There you go.
Sean is not a big walker.
No, I'm not a big walker.
I'm trying to get him to do a 5K.
I'm gonna do the 5K with the Dolphin Cancer Challenge.
Oh, all right. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see each other then. That's awesome, man.
I mean, you'll probably get done days before me, but I'll get it done. I'll get it done. I will get it done, man. We got No Doubt in already. Memo's in already. Me Papa's in already. So we thank all of you guys for already joining in. He says Orchard Park is a disaster. It's Buffalo. I mean, what do you think? We went there and we stayed we didn't even go to the stadium. We stayed in Niagara Falls at a bar and watched the game.
I actually don't mind Orchard Park. It's not bad. The only thing I don't like about it is that they don't have enough bathrooms for the guys. So when you went to the bathrooms, you would see a line of guys. Like I was like, why? Why is this going? It's terrible.
It's the Orange Bowl then, basically, almost, huh?
Yeah, it is. That was the only reason why.
All right, guys. So let's jump into some of this wrestling talk. Do you want to start with SmackDown, or do you want to go and jump into the Raw situations?
I mean, we could start with SmackDown. Why not? And then we'll work our way to Raw.
So for you guys, Josh and Bob, we've done a couple shows together, so I kind of have a feel a little bit about where you stand on certain things. But Cody Rhodes, he drops the title twice on Friday. He dropped it once at 2:00, and then they replayed it again at 8:00. So he ended up losing twice. Everybody wanted to lose once. No, they put it twice. Your thoughts overall, we'll start with you, Josh, on just the fact that Cody finally drops the title. Right move, or what's your thoughts?
This is a good move for the company. On my other show I do with my guys Clutch and El Ginger Americano, I was like, I'm finally, because I didn't like the idea of CM Punk winning the championship on Raw. I don't like the idea of 2 babyface champions. I don't like that idea. So I've been banging the table for somebody has to lose, and I thought Braun Breaker was going to beat CM Punk. But I'm kind of turning around on the CM Punk babyface run. So that means I'm okay with the Cody loss because I don't like, again, having 2 babyface champions. And Drew deserves this, honestly. Cody, we've seen enough right now. Like, people are complaining that Rhea's in the mid-card or she's in this tag team. And let's be honest, guys, if you're on top all the time, it kind of gets dull. So Cody kind of needs to go into a different direction, and it's okay not to be the champion all the time. It's okay, you know. So I'm okay with the move. I think this is a good move, and Drew needs to be champion. Drew's going to be a great champion. I hope he holds the title for a while, at least heading into WrestleMania. I'm okay with not seeing Cody Rhodes main eventing another WrestleMania. Like, I'm okay with that.
Bobby, go ahead.
No, I absolutely love it. I thought it was the right move. We've been talking about this for a while that, you know, anytime there was a Cody match, you kind of figured what was going to happen. Cody was going to win, and, you know, so you never really could take anything too seriously about, you know, the promos and everything else. I love when there's swerves. I love when there's like, whoa, what the hell was that? What did they? Drew McIntyre absolutely deserves it. It's not only about Cody dropping the belt. McIntyre absolutely deserves it because he is the heel, because of the work he's put in. I love there was no swerve there. They take the belt away. It actually did well for 2 parts. And it was funny because Josh and I were just talking about this on our award show. We were talking about the You Can't See Me award. Josh said, which is not a good award to have. You think it's like an MVP because it's John Cena. It's not. It's the guy that, he was up here and all of a sudden he just went out of he disappeared. And Josh picked Damian Priest, and I went with Jacob Fatu, even though Fatu was injured. I said, when Fatu first started out, he was this monster. We all had high expectations. Then when he won the United States title, it's like he dropped off the face of the earth before he got hurt. He had that run with Solo, and it was lame. He was a baby face. It wasn't the same. I thought he should have stayed the monster. He should be the guy, he doesn't have to be a straight up heel with a heel group, but he could be that guy that you don't want to run in with if you're a heel or a baby face. That's what you saw when he came back. When he came in and he beats on Drew McIntyre, it's kind of like, oh, here we go. This is the way Cody survives this. Cody, of course, being the ultimate babyface, get off. No, I'm one-on-one. He starts attacking. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, finally. And then Drew doing the heel move, sneaking out of the ring. I absolutely loved it. Finn Stanza on FTSN, he hated it. He's like, what kind of, who does that? Who sneaks out of the ring? A heel does that. Yes. That's classic wrestling. That's the perfect thing. We know how badass Drew McIntyre is. We know how strong he can be, but that's the ultimate heel move, to slither out of the ring, and now he's the champion. And I think it's better for Cody to kind of not take a step back, because Cody's Cody, but now he can now he's on this revenge tour. Do we get a taste of heel Cody? Maybe not the whole thing, but do we get a taste of it? The chase. Now you set him up with a feud with Jacob Fatu, which is great for Jacob Fatu. And now Drew McIntyre can be the ultimate heel on SmackDown while the baby faces are trying to come after him. It's great. I loved it. Great move by WWE.
Frankie.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that I liked and I didn't like. So what I liked was, yes, I thought it was a good move because it created that tournament, which I think it's kind of catchy, and they could come up with a lot more storylines out of this. Matt Cardona, Trick Williams. I'm a big Trick Williams right now fan in SmackDown. Randy Orton, The Miz, all these guys. So I like that about it. Now, what I don't like is the fact that you put up Jacob Fatu. So now Jacob Fatu versus Cody has no belt in place. And yes, I know Drew McIntyre deserved it, but hey, man, he always loses. So why are we going to give him the belt? Make him lose it again. That's always been a good storyline for him in the first place. I think they should have gone ahead and kept Cody with the belt, and Jacob Fatu should have been the next person to come in line and actually win the belt from Cody. That's who I think WWE should have immediately pushed in front. Even though Drew McIntyre has put his 2 cents and he's always been a hard worker and all that stuff, but he's always getting screwed. So you know what? Since they screw him all the time, I would have screwed him one more time, and I would have gone ahead and done Cody beating him, and then Jacob Fatu being the next opponent for Cody, but for the belt. Now we're gonna see probably just Cody versus Jacob for no belt, and that's whack. That sucks. So I that's the only reason I would have kept the belt on Cody. But I do like the tournament. I like the fact that they have the tournament because my boy Trick Williams is on that tournament, so I like that about that.
Can I butt in? Is this that kind of show?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I butt in?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Butt in.
That's his AEW mind thinking.
Thank you. I wanted to say it. I was going to say it.
Oh my goodness,
I was going to say it.
You want someone to come back. So you want someone to come back, make a huge impact on your television show, put him against the King Cody, and have him lose?
Wait, look. Okay, hold on a second.
What's the purpose of that?
We did not invite you.
Yes,
you guys to jump against me in this show, okay? You wanted your opinion.
I did.
And now you're ganging up on me. Don't get mad at me because at the end of the day, it's the truth. Cody Rhodes should have won that. We've been Cody fans all this whole time, right? Now you're going to have maybe Cody crybabies out there. And you know that Drew McIntyre's run is going to be very short-lived. You know that. They're going to make him lose that belt right around the corner. He'll probably have one defense, and that's it. He'll probably lose it at Royal Rumble. I wouldn't be surprised if he loses it at Royal Rumble.
To who?
But to me, you see, hold on. That's okay.
Trick Williams,
that's
baby.
Okay.
Trick Williams.
But that's okay, right? I mean, gone are the days that when we didn't know what was going to happen, where somebody got the title of this heel, and then all of a sudden here comes another babyface out of nowhere and wins it, and it's okay. No, I don't think Jacob Fatu, who was like, shouldn't even be in the mid card when he left, when he got hurt, he was kind of teetering, come out of nowhere and now he's competing for the world title, and you're going to give him the title. It makes no sense. You know that you're killing him at that point. No, because then you're going to kill his character. Because then what? He's going to get the title. He's not going to be able to hold up to it. He's going to fall off the face here. Now you give him a legitimate feud with no belt. That means Cody's safe from getting pinned. You can make Fatu look like the strongest man possible if he goes and beats down on Cody, pins him. He doesn't have to win his title. Now you're not putting the title on his shoulders. It's all that weight. Because maybe some people think, oh, it's just a belt. Oh, it looks good on him. But no, that's a heavy thing. That could tear you down if you're not ready for it. Now you give Drew McIntyre the belt. He could run with it. He's great. You said it. He got beat a bunch of times. It's been great for him. Now he won it. Now he's dangerous. Now everybody's gonna come for him. And now we know, wait, he'll slither out of the way to win. That's the ultimate heel. Wrestling was great during the Ruthless Aggression era when you had JBL and Triple H. Now when you had, Cena and the good guy, it's like, oh, it was great with the chase when you had the chase going down. So the heel in Drew McIntyre is perfect. Jacob Fatu coming in now having this feud with Cody is even better because that's going to get Jacob Fatu back up because now he could destroy Cody and it's not going to kill Cody. Cody lost to a better opponent who deserves the title more. And now Fatu is going to look a lot better after this feud with Cody Rhodes. It's perfect.
I'll let Sean give his opinion.
But the other thing, too, that they never, at least I don't think they ever came across was we still don't know who attacked Fatu, right? Because he went after Drew and everybody's like, oh, then that must be the guy. But then he goes right after Cody before they could really get out there. So, again, you still leave that part of this whole thing open. I like the fact that Cody's not the champion right now because to me, and I'm probably already going to give away my insight on one of the next questions. The next segment was going to be is I don't think WWE can figure out what to do once they put a title on somebody, especially a babyface. The heels seem to have an okay run on it, but when they put the belt on the babyface, it just seems to be lackluster. So for me, with Drew, it opens up everything. Like I said, they got the tournament. There's already talk about, Memo just sent me one thing about could he have won the title, which I hope this doesn't happen, but did he win the title so they could flip the title to Sammy in Riyadh at the Royal Rumble?
Oh my God, yeah, I heard that. I saw that.
But this is what this opens up where when Cody's the champion, it's kind of just like Cody. Now there's stories involving the world title. That's what you want. You don't want it to be Cody's the champion. He's never going to lose and this and that, which is what you get usually, And again, I did not expect them to take the title off Cody at this match. I didn't. I honestly thought they were going to do something. Like you said, when you saw Jacob Fatu come in and start beating, I'm like, okay, there it is, but it opened it up. And again, Fatu doesn't have to be the number one contender, and you can make Cody Fatu to be the number one contender if that's the route you want to go, or it's going to be a freaking awesome little feud between them two. And now you've thrown in Trick and Sammy and any other baby faces. It's opened up the division. It has opened up the heavyweight title division on SmackDown to me.
I mean, for me, this is the thing that happened here. You bring in Trick Williams. You brought in Randy Orton back from being injured. You had Damian Priest out there who's saying he wants to get a shot at the title. Solo has been building up. You're telling me that none of these guys, had Cody been able to go ahead and defend his belt correctly, would it not been a good opponent for him eventually? Like, I see all these guys coming up and trying to go after the heavyweight belt. Now, who are they going to go after? Drew McIntyre? Like,
yeah, why not?
No, that's because Drew McIntyre is not a baby. He's a heel. So it doesn't make any sense. All these guys I mentioned are, except for Damian Priest, Randy Orton is kind of the middle of the pack. Some people like him, some people don't. But he could be sometimes a heel, could sometimes be a baby. But Trick Williams, he's a heel. Solo is a heel. Matt Cardona, I don't know. I hope they do a really good job with Matt Cardona. I'm excited about Matt Cardona as well. And I'm glad he's now Matt Cardona and not the other freaking Zack Ryder name. That was terrible. But anyway. Long story short, I mean, again, all you three say that, hey, it's a good job that Cody lost the belt. For me, hey, you're telling me that a baby having a hard time holding a belt. I feel that everybody's been having a hard time them promoting the belt. The only guy who really actually had a decent run was Roman Reigns. After him, they have been clueless because even with Seth Rollins, they had a hard time trying to promote him and all that stuff. So at the end of the day, I think that's not going to fix the situation. You're going to have issues with Drew McIntyre because he's probably going to give it up very soon. Or the next topic eventually about CM Punk, you'll see that they're going to have struggles. They need to figure out good ways to have a really, really strong heel be able to come up against a really strong baby and then just built off of that. Like back in the day, they don't have that, man, and they're struggling hard with that. I think that's the main reason why they don't have anybody, like they don't have a legit storyline for two guys that could actually go far with the storyline and go for the belt. I think that's their issue. They have Cody, but they don't have anybody else except Roman, and people are tired of Roman versus Cody. That's why they're talking about bringing it back, Cody versus Roman again at WrestleMania.
No, they said they're probably not doing that now. They dropped the title, but my thing is going back to kind of piggyback on what Bobby was saying, though, is when you looked at what the Attitude Era was, there were so many interchangeable top guys that you had a lot of stories. Now, I feel like they try to make that top so prestigious that only a few get there. Whereas in the back, and we've talked about this, Frankie, on our show, and I'm sure you guys have discussed it before too, is you had Undertaker, you had Mick Foley, you had Triple H, you had The Rock, you had Stone Cold. You had, I mean, there was numerous guys that you could plug and play at the top and keep storylines going, you know, and I just feel like once Cody gets the belt, I don't know. To me, it feels like everything just kind of freezes and it doesn't feel like storylines keep moving. It feels like everything just kind of stops.
So I'm going to ask this because you were saying these names. So it's Orton, Sammy, Damian Priest, Solo. Okay, so there's the heels, and then Sammy,
Matt Cardona too.
Cardona, maybe babyface, right? So here's the thing.
Dragunov.
Yeah, that's a good one. So
they're all in that tournament. That's why.
Here's my thing. So when you look at this, because you're like, Trick just got there. He ain't ready. He ain't gonna win that tournament. Miz is not gonna win. Cardona, I don't see moving that fast. Solo is not gonna do it. Orton versus McIntyre. Damian Priest, McIntyre, who had a good run. Sami Zayn, McIntyre. There are stories there. Those are matches that you weren't going to see. We already saw, everybody wants to see Cody versus Randy Orton. We could see that another time. But to me, there's a lot of opportunities.
It doesn't need a belt, brother. But
it doesn't need a belt.
He just brushed it off. We could see Cody and Randy Orton another day of the week.
Yeah, another day. You don't have to see that.
That's
you wanted
the
to
best
see
match.
Solo, and you wanted to see Fatu and Cody for the title. Fatu wasn't ready, but Orton versus McIntyre, Damian Priest versus McIntyre.
Hey, that's the AEW in him, bro.
Yeah, it is.
We got Bryan Danielson and Omega within like 2 weeks.
Tonight.
Bryan Danielson debuted. We had Omega and him like the very next night on whatever Rampage. Like, remember that? Like, it was like the next night.
Yes, a never seen before match. First night on the show.
Honestly, though, good call, because who would have known? Because Kenny and both were injured for the rest of their career after that. So
they wouldn't have made the match. They wouldn't have had the match. Actually, you're right.
But can I just say this about the whole?
Maybe TK knows something everybody else doesn't. Let's get it now because it might not happen later.
This Sami Zayn, it clicked in my head because SmackDown's the worst show in wrestling besides Collision. SmackDown's bad. Yeah. So you forget about these guys, but like a person like Sami Zayn who could tell top-notch stories, who can captivate an audience, mixed with Drew McIntyre who can do the same thing, like that's going to be a main event. That could be WrestleMania. Because what did Sami Zayn say before he went to SmackDown? I'm going to be a world heavyweight champion. I'm going to be a world champion. It's going to happen, people. It's going to be Sami Zayn. He's going to knock off. I know we're going to get there later, but that's going to happen this year. 100%. Like, it didn't click until Sean said it. It's like, oh yeah, that's why they did this for Sammy. This is going to be an awesome moment. And Frankie, you're going to love it. Bobby's going to love it. Everyone's going to love it. It's going to be one of the top stories of 2026. 100%.
He's already giving predictions for 2026, it seems like.
Hey, that's going to happen later on, but still, hey, it's fine.
Better.
Give him up. Sorry. Give him up.
Hey, when I have these ideas in my head, I just have to say them because I'll forget them.
No, that's fine. That's fine. And it's funny, too, because SmackDown now is the longest show running on TV for 3 hours, which It's funny though, because now they've gone 3 hours. The last couple shows have actually been some of their
been
better
good.
shows.
Yeah.
That's like, whoa, wait a
But
minute.
but
okay.
but the reason it worked is because they brought these guys. You feel me? So since they brought these guys, people are actually tuning in now. For all you guys that have like DirecTV and all that stuff, you could do what I do, which is I record it and then I fast forward through all that stuff, and then I just look and pick and choose what I like and what I don't like. That's why for me the 3 hour show doesn't feel like an eternity. People are saying a 3 hour show sounds really bad out there, but for me, I keep picking and choosing what I want to see. And then I'll like if I see it sucks, I'll just fast forward through it. So, but that's what I do. I don't know if you guys do the same thing.
The
But
Fresco way.
I mean, again, sometimes there's some lackluster moments in any of the shows, right? In AEW and Monday Night Raw and all that stuff. So that's the reason why I do it. But at the end of the day, it has gotten better. I like that they brought Matt Cardona. I expect Matt Cardona. Well, I don't want to give one of my predictions out. So, but I expect big things from Matt Cardona. I expect big things for Trick Williams. I want these guys to succeed. That's the new generation, right? Those are the guys that are coming in. And then obviously it looks like Femi might be making his way as well. So it's like all these guys they need it. They need it because people are tired of the same guys over and over, especially since what Sean said is true, which they don't the guys back in the back in the day in WWE, you had so many different guys that could take over the belts. Now you don't got that. We got like a handful and that's it. So people are getting bored of it. And I think us, the hardcore fans, need this new fresh blood to come in and take over. And I like it. So I'm excited for the future.
Bobby, let me ask you and Josh this real quick. Do you think the lack of, and maybe you guys don't think there is, so you can go that route as well, but the lack of top tier talent, do you think it's a talent issue or do you think it's a creative issue?
It's a great question, man. It's a talent issue, I think, for me, because, as Frankie was saying that, and I get it. It's so true. Something that it's, say this, it's like Vince McMahon said that one time, talking about the brass ring, go get the brass ring. Remember that? Back in the day, you think about the Attitude Era, they were all going for that brass ring. If Mick Foley was around today, he probably would not be anywhere near it. The only thing, the problem is, the good thing about Mick Foley compared to, the other guys, he was always striving to get better. He was putting his body on the line. He was having good matches. When you said he couldn't, he did it. There are guys that are just okay being okay. There are guys that are just, oh, you know what? I don't need to be this. I don't have to work on my character. I'm just gonna do a bunch of flips and this and this and this and this and do this. And then I'm gonna stop and have a 5-star match because Meltzer said so. And then I'm okay. I deserve to be in title picture, even though my character sucks. My mic work sucks. But those guys back in the day, they worked on everything. Austin was everything. They weren't perfect at everything, but they worked on everything. Nowadays, there's a lot of people that say, a lot of fans out there. Back then, there wasn't, Twitter and all this, but there's a lot of fans out there go, oh, but this guy deserves it. And that guy, and man, he's young and he could do all this, but he deserves it. Where when they are given that type of opportunity, or when they're put in that spotlight, they fall apart because they weren't ready. We're trying to rush them to the top. It's like, oh, I'm sick of John Cena. I'm sick of Roman Reigns. I'm sick of Cody Rhodes. I'm sick of this guy. I'm sick of Hogan. I'm sick of this one. I'm sick of this guy. You can be sick of them all. I'm sick of seeing Goldberg. Sure. Yeah, we want to see new stars come up. But guess what? Every time that Goldberg comes through the ring, you hear that music, the arena pops. Every time, in Ruthless Aggression, even though we had John Cena, Batista, and all the guys, when you heard Hulkamania's music hit, the arena popped. That's staying power. Those are guys that stand, woo, woo, woo. Oh, Matt Cardona's music. Oh, dude, I saw him on the internet. That's the difference. It's when the ball is given to you, what are those guys going to do with it? There's a lot of guys that, WWE or whatever, they say, hey, man, here's the ball, run with it. And they totally flatline. Who started like that was Damian Priest. I love that Priest won the title. I was excited for him. I'm still a big fan of Priest. But when he started out, Josh and I was honest about it. I was like, I don't feel it. It's just, there's no growth at it. And then after a while, you started seeing he got better on the mic. He started, it started becoming like a mega. The fans were cheering him on like they did in Puerto Rico when he faced Bad Bunny. It was really cool. And of course, he dropped it, and then he kind of flatlined again. And now he's been having some good matches. So I do believe it's a talent issue, because if creative has done it before, where they've taken the risk to give these guys the spotlight, they can't handle it, or the fans just don't catch on to it as much as the internet fans want to. The IWC, the ones that matter that are buying tickets, when they show up, those guys don't care. Fans don't care. If you really, wrestlers have to make them care, and it's not just in the ring. You got to make them care about your character. You got to put in that extra work. There's a lot of guys, they don't do that anymore like they do back in the day. Josh,
option C, it's our era.
Okay.
True.
It's our era.
That's fair.
Bobby said it himself. We're tired of this person. We're on to the next. I'm tired of Bianca Belair. I'm on to the next. I'm tired of this person. On to the next. How can someone stay hot when you're constantly getting rejected by the shortest attention span of all time in 2026? We're the TikTok society. It's all we care about is what's next, what's next. How can these people get over when the fans don't want them to get over? And then when they do get over, we want them to go away. We want them to go away. It's like, how can they succeed in this society, in this state of wrestling? But they do. Some do, of course. They're superstars. I think that there's talent all over this roster. But again, who are the top heels in wrestling today? Like, who would you just think, right? MJF, Gunther. Why? Because they push the envelope a little bit. Mm-hmm. They do things that other people aren't allowed to do. Why is CM Punk so over? He pushes the envelope. He's allowed to. The restrictions on these wrestlers, these performers these days is ridiculous. Yeah. And sometimes on the other company, like, I'm not calling them out for it, but they go overboard too much. And then now they're too inside. And then it goes over the joke. The joke goes over the fan's head. And it's hard to get into that character. So it's like, there needs to be wiggle room. And I know that TKO and WWE is like a publicly traded company. And Gunther can't just come out and say, made him tap like a little bitch 100 times. But that's why he's over right now, because he's pushing the envelope. So that's one of the even the mid-card guys back in the Attitude Era were doing stuff that obviously would pop a crowd, and they just can't. It's hard to go out there in this era and get over by just doing this with your hands, but Jey Uso did it.
Does it? Yep.
Congrats. Like, that's awesome. Like, he did it, because Stone Cold, what was his gimmick? Right? That's it. That's a huge pop, brother. Yeah. What was Taker's gimmick? Like, killing people? Like, it's and that's what wrestling fans want, really, in their wrestling show.
Yeah, you're right. It is a little bit of I mean, wow. Now that I think about it, it's like, because I think about back what you were just saying about the Attitude Era. Think about this. Val Venus was over. They had a group called Kai and Tai, where the guy was like, "I chop off your pee-pee," and they had a saw. I mean, little stupid like that was over, but that was the mid card. Yeah. I don't even know if that was actually technically mid-card. That might have even been below mid-card there. But that was, the whole show was like, you had those guys everywhere. And for me, I really do, like, now the more I think about this is, I think there's too much. And the funny thing is, I like that show, Unreal. I do. I like the behind-the-scenes stuff. But I also now feel the social media and everything hurts today's product. Meaning, and Gunther's one of the ones that actually stays in character most of the time. Even in podcasts, he'll be real, and give flowers to people here and there. But he still's pretty much a little bit of a dick to when he answers questions or things like that. Whereas you have others that are really like, I need 1 million followers, so then they're kissing ass on social media, and then you watch them on TV, and that's not the character you get. You're getting two different people. And again, I understand there's a person outside of, like me, Sean Allen in the ring, Sean Stanley outside the ring. But if you're going to do that on social media, then you need to have separate accounts. So the Sean Allen account, I'm pro wrestler all the time. Sean Stanley account will be for, and that's where I think a lot of this is, because you just get so much exposure now. It's an overexposure. And I don't know that fans, maybe like real wrestling fans can separate the two, but I don't know that a lot of fans can do that these days.
And when it's every day, when wrestling's on every like, right, you don't, like, if football was on every day, I guarantee you we wouldn't watch every game like we do now. 100%. Because it's every day. So when I used to, when I was a kid, going to 7-Eleven after school to get my snack, like that my dad bought me, and we watched Raw or Nitro, whatever it was. Like that was a big deal. Monday was. Now it's like, oh, I could watch NXT Tuesday. I could watch the highlights from it. Like I could watch. Oh, I missed Raw. Oh, it's on my phone. I can just pop it up. Like you're right. The overexposure, like it just becomes like everything else. Like yeah, I have a Porsche. Not me personally, but I have a Porsche.
Yeah,
right?
we
I have
know
a
you
Porsche.
do, Josh. We know you do.
And then, but in 4 weeks or 5 weeks or however long it takes, it's just my car.
Yeah,
That's the way entertainment is these days, really.
Yeah. Wow, man. Yeah. It's now that I think about it, like when I put it out there, I was thinking like it was going to be either a talent or a creative, but I'm really now leaning more toward it's just life now. That's just what the way we consume everything. I mean, to be honest, like even watching like college football because the Canes are in it and they're going to win the national championship, Frankie. But God. You know, I follow that live. You know what I'm saying? But like the NFL playoffs, I didn't necessarily watch every game. I just went back and watched the parts that I wanted to in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what you're talking about. Like with Frankie, what he was saying was I just record it and I watch what I want and I just fast forward through whatever. And that's kind of how people watch wrestling now. So how do you? The one thing I always talk about is you have to get the fans to emotionally invest in the product, to emotionally invest in the character. But if you're watching it that way these days, how the hell do you get an emotionally development toward anything? Like for me, I grew up on the Four Horsemen always kicking the shit out of Dusty Rhodes. So y'all, I love me some Dusty Rhodes. So, you know, you get invested in that. The Hard Times promos, and he gets attacked on the Omni, and they slam his hand in the door when he's going to the... But you start getting invested in because you see it, but you only saw it on Saturday. I didn't see it Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and then you're replaying stuff that happened on Monday, on Tuesday, then again on Friday. And it's...
And in between that, you see a picture of Dusty Rhodes in the backstage pointing to whoever, like, "Oh, brother," you know, like that.
And then they go to a commercial break, and it's them with doing the commercial. It's just nonstop, man. It's nonstop.
Yeah, it's just a different product these days, and that's just for like literally every single television show, movie, everything. Everything has changed because of the 2026. That's where we are, clips. We're a clip society. Everything's in clips.
That just changed my whole predictions of 2026 now. I got to redo my whole paper right now. I'm going to be redoing that right now in a minute. And then let's just go into right now, the CM Punk title reign. What's your grade so far on that? Frankie, go ahead.
Man, it's so lackluster, bro. It's so bad. Like, I think they have... I don't know what they're doing with CM Punk. It just seems so crappy right now. The whole Braun Breaker thing. I honestly, and you guys know I'm a CM Punk fan. I mentioned it before. He should have lost to Braun Breaker. Like that one. Like it's funny. I disagree with you guys. I feel like Cody should still have the belt, but I feel CM Punk should have lost the belt. And I'm not a Cody lover. I am a CM Punk. That's who I like. And it just feels so bad right now, and it's annoying and it's frustrating because I'm not gonna lie to you, I have the tendency to kind of compare now what he's doing to what he was doing in AEW. And I felt like in his AEW tenure, he was doing a lot better. He was wrestling, he was giving time for more talent and everything. And now it's kind of like you're getting like a half-ass CM Punk, and then, you know, he still finds a way to win, but you know, it's not. I don't like it. I don't like it. You know, I hope he loses. And I'm a CM Punk fan. I hope he loses the belt. He needs to lose the belt to somebody. So they need to do something quick about it because I'm getting tired of it. And I don't want it to be Seth Rollins. Like, I don't want to see Seth Rollins win the belt either. So it's like those type of things I don't like. But yeah, that's how I feel about the CM Punk run. I lackluster right now. Pretty bad.
We got Bobby and Josh from the No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, FTSN. Bobby, CM Punk title reign. How you liking it so far?
It's incomplete. I don't know if we would say a grade or anything like that on it. He's only had one match defending it, right? Is it a Braun Breaker? So
I guess, I mean, technically, yeah.
I don't know how we could really judge it. I don't feel any type of way about it. It doesn't feel anything special to me. I think what's special about it is that it's CM Punk. Future Hall of Famer or legend, it's like, oh, dude, CM Punk. But it's not the same CM Punk. If you're trying to think it's the CM Punk of AEW or even before then. It's not the same guy. I don't think, after watching the match and everything, I think Braun Breaker is so much better as the monster, the angry dog chasing the belt, pissed. He's angry. He doesn't have what he thinks he should have had. I thought it was the right call. I don't think Braun Breaker should be the guy to beat CM Punk. I agree with Frankie that, there's nothing special to write home about. But I don't think how you could say like totally, it's a total flop. It's only been one title defense. He beat Jey Uso and then he defended against Braun Breaker. I think you got to give him a little more time. I think the reason they gave him the belt now, this is not with the injury to Seth Rollins, is so he could probably hold it through the Royal Rumble and try to go to the WrestleMania. You have to build him up. He's a main attraction. Breaker is not right now. And I think Breaker is a lot better. I love what I saw from Breaker on Monday night, or Monday, whenever I was seeing him, as angry coming after Alec Pierce and, and all those other, like, that's really cool. I prefer that compared to the champion. He'd be cocky with the black tuxedo or whatever, sitting there in the ring. That's not Braun Breaker. That's not what he's great at. He's not that type of heel. We want to see the angry guy that you don't want to touch, that you don't want him in the ring, who speared, this guy and kills this guy and is going after the GM. That's Braun Breaker. That's what makes you fear him, who maybe he becomes so scary that when he's in the Rumble, you believe he's going to win it. I think it's better. You have more matches, as Josh would say, okay, Breaker wins the title. Where do you go from here? Who's he going against? With CM Punk, you have Braun Breaker. You have Bronson Reed. You have Gunther right now. There's so many other options compared to Breaker and someone else. Punk, it's nothing special right now, but again, I think it's incomplete. I don't think we should be able to judge it too fast.
Can I jump for just a quick second?
No, you can't. Josh, go ahead.
Oh, Jesus.
Go ahead,
I'm
Frank.
kidding, Frankie. Go, man. Go.
Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
Frankie, I'm kidding, man.
Go
Go,
ahead,
bro.
go ahead.
Go.
What were you gonna say?
I'll let Josh go, and then I'll say what
What were you gonna say?
Well,
It doesn't matter what you were gonna.
right. Oh my God, what is this crap, bro?
God, dang.
I gotta leave the podcast. Like, what is
Frankie,
going
I
on
know
here?
you want to probably shit on me right now. I feel for you, bro. I'm sorry. I would let you talk.
I joke.
This is good stuff.
I fell for that one though. That was good, Josh.
You did.
It was good. It was good.
That was a good one. I'll let you talk. Go ahead.
I forgot the question. Honestly, go ahead. Honestly, I got to regroup. What was the question? Oh,
The
Punk.
grade. If you have a grade on the CM Punk, or what you think of the CM Punk title reign.
Frankie. We're gonna have a conversation because I've watched every CM Punk AEW appearance ever.
Wait. Did you get the backstage ones too, or just the stuff outside?
That run was light years better than what we're seeing now, 100%. So I agree with you, Frankie, on that. And I think it's a little bit to do with him coming back. That was special. AEW fans got to understand that and watch that and feel that. WWE fans got the secondary hand of that, the sloppy seconds of that. So that's kind of why the CM Punk felt a little bit more special, because we saw a bunch of matchups that we've never seen, we'll never see again. Probably, right? We'll never see Hangman and Punk. We'll never see these guys again. We'll never see Joe and Punk again, ever. And that was a great match. His last match there, right? Yeah, that was his last match there.
Yeah.
It's a great match too. So it's hard to judge this run because it just started. When I said earlier that I'm into it, I can see this being a good run. It's gonna start with Finn Balor, which I hate. I hate this open challenge. I'm a fighting champion. So everyone does it these days. That's the way to book baby faces. I'm a fighting champion. I want you at your best. I want you at your best. So you better bring it. Like every baby face says that, and it's so lame. So we need a diabolical heel to go against CM Punk. It's going to be Roman and Punk at WrestleMania, right? Like, that's what's going to happen. Right? Like, that's what's going to happen, right? And that's what needs to happen. That's the money match. That's the big match. So that's why CM Punk is still our champion on Raw. So I guess I'm giving all my 2026 away. Sorry.
No, it's all good, man. The thing is, when me and Frankie did our show last week, I didn't like the fact that Breaker got beat clean. And I know he took 600 go-to-sleeps and everything else, but it was just like, with everything you had going on around that match, to have him actually get pinned, I thought took away a little bit from, I mean, I guess you could say it maybe fueled his anger more with what we saw this week, if that's the way, they're doing the storyline. But then I thought about it too, is if he was to win the title, the only way he gets the belt is if Seth Rollins is returning, because then Seth gets the victory back by taking out the one that put him out. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm liking what I'm seeing and where it's going, because again, I think like what we were talking about with the Drew is it does open up more stories with the title, whereas it felt closed in for a while. Even when, like you said, when Seth had it, it just felt like it was Seth CM Punk. You kind of knew like where it was going. There wasn't options, whereas now it feels like there's options. And I agree with you, Josh, 100%. I look, the open challenge is for the U.S. title, for the Intercontinental title, not for your heavyweight title. The heavyweight title shot should be earned. To me, that's just like, they're not just like, hey, we're giving away title shots this week. Whose hometown are we in? Finn Balor, step on up. Who we at next week? I mean, every time we go to a hometown, they're going to get a shot at the title or something. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess like it is incomplete because we're going to see where it goes. But I just have a tough problem every time WWE puts a title on somebody, the heavyweight title. It just seems to like get stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man, and shout out to Tony. What's up, Tony, for stopping by. And I did see your comment as well. Layeska, always representing Mr. Iguana. So
Jesus
right there as
Christ,
well.
this guy.
So shout out to both of those guys out there.
The only guy that can be in the chat and on the show at the same time.
I don't know what he's talking about. Anyways, so going back to what Bobby was saying about, not Braun Breaker should have not won the match. And I was gonna go in the same direction what Sean said. I mean, it was a clean pin. Like literally he got beat and no questions asked. So like I actually like the Braun Breaker with the suit. I like the Braun Breaker that could like out of a sudden like twitch, and then you got the aggression Braun Breaker. I thought he could carry that type of character throughout his title run. Now, where I do see where you guys are coming at is like who would be a good opponent for him. Obviously, it would only be obviously CM Punk afterwards. When you put it in that perspective, I could understand why they allowed CM Punk, because there is more heels for Punk than babies for Braun Breaker. I mean, unless for some strange reason, one of their guys on this guy, the guy who just came to their group, all of a sudden turns on him and stuff because he's dealing with Seth Rollins and stuff. So, but I agree with you on that. So I'll take that back in reference of like Braun Breaker, just because I don't think they have anybody who they could have possibly put against Braun Breaker again, and I don't think he would have had a run. There's just I'm thinking about the heels in Monday Night Raw, and like they all suck. So like I'm sorry, all the babies, and I'm trying to think, is there anyone that's good enough to challenge him for a belt? And I don't. It's CM Punk is the only guy right now, so I don't think it's
LA
anybody.
Knight comes back.
Oh my god, don't bring up that guy's name, bro. That guy's another guy that always gets like shitted on, right? Like, but now see, it would be nice for him, but I always feel like there's some issues. They don't like him, bro. They just don't like him because he's a rebel, man. He talks back, bro, and that's what I like about him. I like that he doesn't keep his mouth shut. And now look, I feel like they shitted on him before, and they're gonna shit on him again. So just how it is with WWE and Triple H's way of thinking now. I'm glad Bobby agrees with me.
Oh, jeez. No comment. It's all good.
All right. Speaking of shit, let's talk a little bit of AEW. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow. Talk about like taking a shot at AEW, huh?
No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I've been pretty. I liked where it's heading. I do want to get your Frankie and Josh, and but how much are you into AEW at all? Are you into AEW at all? Or
okay, very minimum, brother. You can stick with them. I may throw some
No. We'll come to you. Just jump in when you want there.
Got you, brother.
For you guys, the AEW women's division, it was one of the hot spots for a while. Then it kind of went away, and lately it feels like it's getting a revival. But I want to get your guys' input on that. Do you think it's starting to revive a little bit, or maybe I'm completely off on this because you're Mr. AEW, and Josh, you follow probably a lot more closer than I do. Has it all never really like cooled off for you guys?
I'll let Frankie go because I'm interested in Frankie's opinion.
Well, here's the thing. We saw Mercedes Moné lose her belt, right? And I think they did that on purpose because the girl has been wrestling like a savage this past year, right? So she needs a break. She has 20,000 belts. She's losing them one by one now. So I don't think it was that AEW wanted to give her a break. She needed the break because I don't think she was going to last anymore because of how much she's working. So it was like, I feel like it's forced. They had to do it because she can't keep going. And at the end of the day, she was an amazing champion defending all those belts and doing all that stuff. But now you need to let the other girls get in there. Now, did they pick the right girl to do this? Willow Nightingale, she's good, and Chris Statlander is the other one. So you got these two girls that are the champions. Now we're going to find out if AEW actually has some type of commitment and or some ability to push these other women up to compete for these belts. Now, do I feel they do? I don't know. Do they have the talent? They definitely do. You got Hikaru Shida who's there. Jamie Hayter is a good person. They could bring back Britt Baker. I mean, I think Bubba Ray Dudley was talking crap about how AEW wasn't using Britt Baker correctly. Those are girls that they could definitely bring. And then obviously Athena's there as well. So there's a couple of girls. I don't know if Anna Jay's going to stick around. I think Anna Jay is looking to go to WWE, unfortunately. But there is, I see the future of the women's division in the AEW side could have potential. Now, are they going to be able to develop good stories to promote them and get them to that level? I don't know. Because at the end of the day, they banked so hard on Mercedes Moné, and it looked like they banked so much on Toni Storm. Ever since Chris Statlander got that belt, it seems kind of lackluster. So I don't know what is going to happen with Willow Nightingale. I like Willow. I think she's good. But I am concerned of what AEW is going to do and how to push the next superstar, because at the end of the day, they struggle in doing that, especially with the women's division.
You know, this is the only, because you sent the rundown. This is the only thing I actually prepared for and had material for. Not like I'm not going to do a stand-up thing, but I looked at the roster and I'm looking at it and I watch this show and I go, this is by far the most untrained group of women wrestlers I've ever seen. And it's a mess. Most of the matches, are messes. Anna Jay's great to look at, not great to watch wrestle, right? Same could be said for Sky Blue, Julia Hart. Julia Hart's gotten a little bit better, but at the end of the day, you got girls like Harley Cameron on top, or at least on television a lot, and she's terrible. Maxine Dupree is better than the majority of these women.
Wow.
Okay, who's more over?
Don't say
who's
that.
Who's more over?
Harley Cameron sucks. Harley Cameron has actually, she's one of the rare women that actually has improved in her character.
Improved, yes. Better. Yes, I enjoy watching her, but I don't.
For you to say that Maxine Dupree is better than her, that's a disrespect all day, bro.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious.
Okay, if you put Harley Cameron in a ring with Becky Lynch, how do you think that's gonna go?
We don't know.
We'll never know. You know why?
Little puppet. She'll pull out
you know
the
why
puppet.
we'll never know?
Becky.
You're telling me that Maxine Dupree versus Becky Lynch matches were actually good to watch?
They were entertaining at some points. The last match sucked. The match on Raw where Becky won it back was horrendous.
Look at that. Even Bobby's falling asleep on your take because he knows you're wrong.
Okay, he might be falling asleep. No, he knows I'm right. But again, they do have pieces. But do they know how to utilize the pieces? And no, Tony doesn't. Britt Baker was over. She was a homegrown talent that was over. And because she didn't want to play ball or there was something going on, she was sent to wherever she was sent to. Thunder Rosa, probably one of the most interesting and dynamic wrestlers on this roster. Where is she? Right? Where is she? Jamie Hayter was so over. They brought her back on a pre-show as a totally different thing. I don't even know what that was. I still don't know what this is. He himself, Tony, will continue to Mercedes Moné. They're honestly, their most prized possession, if you take away like Will Ospreay and possibly Swerve. Anyone else is interchangeable. Mercedes Moné, MJF, you're right. MJF.
Tony Storm.
No, I don't. I'm not into her, but I understand her appeal. I understand why people like her, but I think she's interchangeable as well. Wow. Mercedes Moné was a game changer. She is. Mercedes Moné is a game changer, but they don't know how to use her. Name one rivalry, name one story, name one promo, name one scenario, name one moment that made Mercedes Moné's money worth all of this. You can't do it.
But that's not Mercedes Moné's fault. That's Tony Khan's fault. That's why I said the concern is, can he actually do something with the women's division?
But I do think it's her fault. And I do think Tony's said it himself. And we all know these wrestlers have input on what they do. And he does not know how to say no. He admitted this year was a big year for him because he was saying, every interview he said, he goes, oh, I was in Christmas. I was in my pajamas. I had my snickerdoodle cookies. And I told myself that one time on Dynamite where the Dark Order was doing fake punches, I was never going to let that happen again. So I started saying no to people. And the TV has gotten a little bit better, but you can see where like this segment doesn't mesh with this segment because we have this person and this person creating this segment. It is all messed up. And when Mercedes Moné has control, we all know she does, and not just her, a lot of wrestlers do there because they have input. He trusts them. You get this. You get a cornucopia of just matches, and honestly, Mercedes better than that. And I wish it. Jericho's my favorite wrestler of all time. Of all time, no doubt about it. When he went to AEW, he tarnished his career because his creative sucks. Everything he wants to do sucks. And Vince, he admitted it himself on his podcast multiple times. I would have an idea. And Vince would go, well, do this. And guess what? He admitted it turned out better. When he doesn't have the Vince going, do that. Or when he doesn't have the Pat Patterson going, maybe do that. When you have Tony Khan going, yeah, Chris, that's a great idea. And you get shit like the New York Minute. You get shit like the Jericho Appreciation Society. You get shit like a mimosa match. You get shit like fucking Chris Jericho and AEW. That's what you get. And unfortunately, a lot of these women that have talent, like Mercedes Moné, she just wants to wrestle matches, brother. Like that's cool. That's good on her. That's why she went there. She had an opportunity to go back to WWE, but she just wanted to wrestle matches. Someone like Ricochet, who can't get over ever. He'll never be world champion. He just wants to put on banger matches. That's why these people go there. And to go back to the women's division, you look at these top stars. You had Saraya, flopped. You have Thunder Rosa, who got over, flopped. Toni Storm, she's over. She is. I'm going to admit it. She's over. You had Mariah May, over, flopped. Mercedes, flop. All these women, Ruby Soho, game changer, flopped. Name one woman that came over there besides Toni Storm, Megan Bayne, flop. Athena, world champion of ROH, a fake promotion. Guess what? I'm world champion of JOH, just Ring of Honor bullshit on my WWE 2K.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, I am. But my point is, they have the Chris Statlander. She is phenomenal. If she was in with producers and people to teach her how to actually work,
if she was where, say it.
TNA. You guys understand, like, but the talent's there, guys. Like, they have a good core. It's just they don't have a good leader, and that's it. Like, they have it. It's just, what do they do with it? And that's the problem. That's always been the problem with the men and women's division. Because Jamie Hayter, man, when she was over, dude, you know, Frankie, when she was over, dude, she should have turned on Britt when they had the chance, and they didn't pull the trigger. Same thing with Daniel Garcia. If he would have pulled the trigger and got away from Jericho, he would be somewhere else right now on that card. But he's not. He got stuck in the Jericho vortex. Because you know why? Because go look. If you guys want to go, Talk is Jericho. He freaking admitted it. He wanted to go to the BCC, but Jericho said no. Jericho made that call because that was bad for business. Daniel Garcia, his career is struggling now because of that decision. And it's because Tony allows this. CM Punk would be there right now. Tony allowed that to happen. It's true. Cody would be there right now.
Bobby, talk.
Tony allowed that to happen.
Go ahead, Bobby. I don't want to hear
glass.
anymore, Josh.
Real glass, damn it. Real glass.
I love Sky Blue. Whoever that is in chat, I love Sky Blue. Her matches are the best. 5-star.
I probably only know 3 of the people you guys were talking about. I will say this. It kind of goes to the point earlier. Is it the creative or is it the wrestler or the talent? And again, one thing I saw a comment earlier. I don't remember the name. I pull it down for, but it was like, WWE and TKO buys all the wrestlers and they don't know what to do with them. It's kind of like what I see that and I think of AEW. They have so much star, all these talented wrestlers, and they all get lost in translation. But AEW is the perfect place for that example, because it's like you can't trust Tony Khan's creative. He leaves it to the wrestlers, and that's when I was like, that's where that whole example comes in of like, it's the talent, not the creatives. Because when you got that ball and you have that opportunity, you give that TV time whenever you have it. Yeah, we know you're great in the ring, man. Hey, I read all the IWC and high school sports wrestling because you're wrestling in the gym there. I saw, man, you're a badass wrestler. You can do a lot of flips. Now you're on TV. What else can you do? I know you could do that 560 splash. That's amazing. Get on the mic. Okay, tell a story during a match. Make it happen. Make me want to dive into your character. Make me want to come back and watch you again. Not like, Frankie, what you were saying earlier, you're skipping through the scenes. You skip through to get to the match you want to see or the person you want to see. But a lot of times when you see that super, like we were talking earlier, why is it so top heavy? Why is it always like in AEW? Why is it every time it's MJF, John Moxley, Adam Hangman Page, or whatever? It's not any of those other guys. Ricochet. All this talk, man. Ricochet deserves a spot in WWE, man. Oh, they treat him like shit. Oh, blah 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 blah. Oh, great! I'm so happy he's going to AEW. He's gonna be something. Where is he? What is he? He's doing the same thing. He's some floating around down there. He's just floating around.
Wow.
Well, they did make a title for him to win. They made him a
national champion, brother.
Yeah.
Is he?
Champion. Yeah.
Well, good for him.
I'll mix it up with the international championship,
or the Continental, or any of the other ones there,
or the Unified that doesn't exist anymore until they unify him again.
But see, here's the thing. That's why it's so tough, because guess what? When you do see a John Moxley or you do see a MJF, when you're fast forwarding to go through the 2-hour show or 3-hour show, you're gonna stop. You might not stop when Ricochet's on the microphone. You may skip that one. Same thing with the women. Whatever women you're talking about. You see Mercedes Moné, you're probably going to stop to see what she's doing. You might not stop for someone else. That's when it comes up to the superstar or the wrestler. They got to make you want to stop. And there's a lot of them in WWE, in AEW, that don't do that. They're the ones that, Frankie, you banging the table for. Man, they deserve a spot, man. They deserve, man, LA Knight. Oh, man. What's this? Karrion Kross. Oh man, they deserve it. When they have that ball, what are they doing with it? When they're on that TV, what are they doing with it? It's the same thing with the women's division. And that's what that brings up that point earlier with, is it talent or creative? That AEW, I would say, from what I hear, it's falling on the talent. They have the opportunity. They don't have to listen. Tony's saying yes to everything. Now they have the ball. What are they doing with it? Nothing. It's falling short.
Were you happy with Statlaner's win? I know, I like Statlaner. I know you do. But were you happy with that whole win?
I mean, I was okay with it. It wasn't like anything out of the ordinary. It wasn't like, just great or anything like that. I still would have preferred. Champion wise, I think that I would have kept the belt on Toni Storm. She deserved that. She is the attraction on that side. Look, WWE does the exact same thing, and AEW does the exact same thing. They put the belts on the stars, right? So Mercedes Moné was a champion, Toni Storm was a champion, right? That's who you keep it on. So why would you give it to Chris Statlander? And again, Chris Statlander has potential. She's not a bad wrestler. I just think her mic skills and, her storytelling sucks. So that's why I don't follow her as much. I'm not into her. And then I get you guys saying, talent here, talent there. But everything you're saying about AEW is happening at WWE as well. Like, we're running into the same situation. That's why when Bobby goes and says, "Hey, they're struggling on both sides," yes, they both are struggling on both sides. This is the problem. So when you go and you say, "Hey, Chris Jericho's run in AEW sucked," are you kidding me? I mean, me and Sean were actually having this conversation saying that once Chris Jericho makes his way to WWE, he should actually bring one of his personas that he had in AEW over to WWE, because WWE needs it. There's a reason why. The only thing that Sean and me didn't agree on was that Sean doesn't like seeing Chris Jericho wrestle as much, and it's because he's old. And I get it. That I respect. But when you go and disrespect and say that his characters, his personas in AEW have sucked, are you kidding me? When he had the Inner Circle, it was entertaining as hell. When you had the learning tree was entertaining. He was actually getting people over when he had the inner circle. All of a sudden now, with Sammy Guevara sucked. We don't know what the hell happened to him. And you had the Latino guys that one of them went to TNA and the others, they disappeared, and they were really good when they were part of the inner circle as well. So it's like it goes to show you that, look, when you say certain things, I agree with you, but saying that Chris Jericho's run and he might have said it in his podcast. I don't listen to his podcast, but saying that his characters in AEW has sucked, I completely disagree. I think that's disrespect you saying that. I actually think that he's done way better there. And Ricochet, he is a champion. The moment he jumped over to AEW, he's been better. He's been entertaining. He was nothing in WWE. They didn't know how to use him. And look, I get it. You guys are not going to be AEW fans. You guys understand that. Over there, it's all about wrestling. And yes, they do lack the luster of doing good storytelling over there. But at the end of the day, if you have shitty ass storytelling, it's not gonna get you involved or into the wrestling, and that's what you're getting over there in WWE. You're getting shitty storytelling, and that's why we're complaining about it, because we're like, yo, it's the same shit. Like, we're tired of it. So you give me storytelling and it sucks, then why the hell am I even watching? I'm only watching because I'm a wrestling fan. I like it. I gotta watch it, and at the end of the day, I love wrestling, so I'm gonna keep watching it. But we could honestly say, right now, they both suck. They're not doing really good. Both brands are struggling really bad. We have to kind of pull our hairs to come up with freaking topics, because there's nothing to talk about. It's the same crap and it's boring.
Not all of Jericho's run was bad. His early run was good. When he first broke in, Bubbly, that was good. Sex Gods, that was good. When he kind of broke away from the inner circle, to me, that's when I stopped caring about Chris Jericho. And that's hard for me. Like, he legitimately is one of my favorite wrestlers. He is. It's the reason why I watch wrestling. He's the reason why I watched AEW. Like, I was into the Bucks and I was into Kenny, but I don't think I was going to watch it if it wasn't for Jericho. And I did, and I fell in love with it. I loved it. But man, you say that he elevated all these people. Elevation means they're better off when he's gone. And you just said it. Where are these people? They're not good.
But
they're not anywhere.
That's because Tony has not gone ahead and taken it. You need a little bit of both. You need a little bit of the talent from the wrestler, and then you need a little bit of talent. You need a good person directing the talent, making sure that you could push them. You could say, look at Jey Uso. Jey Uso, they pushed him. They gave him that push, but yet it failed. So all of a sudden now he's back to the back, because they noticed that, like, hey, this guy, he's not hacking it on his own. You don't see that from Tony Khan. Tony Khan is like, okay, yeah, he got the push, and then Tony Khan doesn't do anything about it. He just books him again to just wrestle. So I'm not going to go ahead and blame the talent, and I'm not going to blame Chris Jericho, because he did give him that push. They should be stars by now, but they just didn't do it. And in that case, it falls on Tony Khan, in my opinion. That's where he struggles. No. Where I feel that Bobby says it is that he does listen too much to the wrestler, and he goes with the wrestler instead of putting his 2 cents and saying, hey, look, hold on a second, guys. I like this, but let's switch it up and do this. Let's switch it up and do that. Because sometimes the ideas that the wrestlers come are not always great. Sometimes they pan out, sometimes they don't. It doesn't. Toni Storm's character panned out. She brought that into the story. She said, hey, this is going to work, and it has. But then after that, then you got like a Sammy Guevara, or you got one of the other guys that they bring out of AAA wrestling and stuff like that, like the Mascara guys and all that stuff, that they just, like, there's no stories for them, and you're like, who are these guys? Like, why Bandito and stuff? You're like,
Bandito versus MJF. Right? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah.
And that's where Tony Khan struggles. I
think part of it is complacency by the talent. They're getting paid. This is the one thing that and again, on the talent side, it's awesome. Tony Khan doesn't fire anybody. He lets your contract expire and you go on your way. So they know, if I'm on TV or not, I'm going to get paid till my contract expires. Why do I need to get back to TV? I'm going to make the same amount of money if I work or not. Why do I need to do anything? They become complacent. Whereas in the WWE and TKO, your ass is on the chopping block almost every week now.
That's a good point.
I feel like, I've always said this, but I feel like more than ever in 2026, like, we got to stop the comparison of the two companies.
Yeah, agreed.
Because it's honestly like the NFL versus, like, USL. Like, Honestly, it is. It's like semi-pro versus pro. Although they do have pros over there in AEW, but it is for viewership and attendance. Like it's light years ahead.
Yeah, I'll
WWE.
never
This is a fact.
compare those. Never compare those.
But you can compare them to TNA, and we're gonna see that soon, because they're getting on TV soon, and I'm actually excited to see that.
Thursday, actually. Wednesday's Dynamite. Thursday is TNA live.
That's gonna be cool, and I'm gonna tune in. You know, I'll be, and it's gonna hit. It's gonna pop a number, and but it's gonna go down.
Can I tell you something though?
Yeah.
WWE is going to make sure TNA beats Dynamite every week. They are sending AJ Styles over for the opening week to make sure he's on there for the debut on the show's opening night on AMC.
Yeah, well, they're gonna pop a number for that for sure. Like, there's no doubt. But we'll see how they hold, because let's be honest, man. Like, AJ Styles is cool, and we all love AJ Styles. But at this moment in 2026, like, he's not bigger than some of the talent on AEW. Like, he's just not. And that's just me saying. He's not. I don't think he's bigger than someone like an Okada. He gives out international audiences, and people do respect him. Like, he's not bigger than Ospreay right now. Ospreay demands people. Like, Ospreay's over, dude. But he's on television right now. But that being said, I can't wait to watch the TNA debut. Bobby, are you gonna watch it as well? We gotta talk about this on Saturday.
Yeah, we got to talk about it. Yeah, well, I want to watch it. My thing is, do we know if AJ's wrestling or not? Because if you really want to draw him in.
Yeah, my understanding is he's just making an appearance. I don't know if he's going to actually wrestle or set up for anything else. I don't know.
That would be the big thing. You really want people to go in. You say AJ's going to wrestle for the first time in how many years in TNA? You know, that would draw them in. So,
But I can see that switch going back and forth. Them sending not just NXT guys now, but main roster guys over to help out with the number on TNA. But the only thing I question that I would have too, and again, when you look at the ratings, where the ratings are, AMC, how many households they go into, I'm guessing AMC's on the same line as TNT and TBS, right? As far as homes going into?
Most likely, yeah.
Because I don't get AMC. I got it on my other box, but on the Hulu, you don't get AMC. It's not a channel that you get.
I got it on my cable, but I'm still a cable guy. I'm
a cable guy too.
Yeah, you're a cable guy. Yeah,
I still got that.
I'm an app guy. I'll find it. I'm an app.
No, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm excited, honestly, and I'm not gonna on the AEW anymore on this podcast or the show, because I do love AEW. The reason why I criticize it, Frankie.
Well, you fooled me, brother.
No, it's because right?
I am cutting that piece off and just putting that up as the podcast.
That's right.
AEW slander. Go after him, guys. Go get him.
Honestly, how many times can you guys say, which is probably never, that you've watched every show from a company? I didn't watch every show, but I've been there for every big feud, every single champion. Like, I can probably give the lineage of the championship. Like, that's pretty cool. And I was invested since day one. And I was invested since before day one, because I watched every episode of Being the Elite. Literally. Up until the debut of AEW. Like, I was one of those sickos. I was in. And they drove me away. Yeah. And that's sad to me. Anyway,
the other thing that I don't like now, and maybe you can correct me because I just kind of tuned in and saw it, but the Mercedes Moné character arc, it's almost going timeless Tony Stormish to me. She's sitting there. She's got the makeup all over her face. She's spazzing out about not winning, about losing the titles. And it's starting to feel like they're just going to try to, I don't know, I guess ride back on that. But the reason right now Timeless isn't working is because there's no antagonist. There's no Mariah May. There's no, like, that character only works because it's like a movie. You got to have the good guy and you got to have the bad guy. And if there's no bad guy, the good guy's just going to flounder. And that's what you're seeing now.
Yep. You know who plays a great bad guy? If she's in Winter Haven, I can just I can see her if I can book DMD if I want to. She needs to come back, man. Put the childish stuff, get the business, like, make money, because Britt Baker, if she returned, we've been craving to see good promos, and she can cut a damn good promo. Whenever she needs to come back, like, whatever drama they got going on. With the last time we saw her, what did she say, Frankie? Nobody cares. When Serena Deeb came out. And that was the last time we saw Britt Baker. We miss her. And they totally flopped that Mercedes feud too. That could have been.
Well, the thing about Tony Storm is they could have somebody like, they're pushing Tekla. And Tekla's not bad. She has potential. Marina Shafir is good. I think Marina Shafir has actually been getting better. So like the only thing is that she doesn't wrestle as much, and there's not that much. Like I wish I would have pushed her more when Moxie had the belt and all that stuff
It's
because she
not
had
just
potential.
heel and face though with the timeless Tony Storm character. Though. That's where they're missing out. There's good heels there to work with a face Tony Storm. The problem is the reason that worked so well was because it felt like a movie. It felt the entertainment part of Mariah May and Tony Storm, where they were, she was the tutelage, and then she turned on her, and then she was her arch enemy, and then at the end they get the, the grand opening, the finale when Mariah May was leaving. Like they should have maybe had somebody building up with Mariah May, so when Mariah May got killed off in the fantastic ending, then that person could have took over to take on Tony Storm, because it's not just heel face with Tony Storm character.
Look, they could resolve this very, very easy. All they gotta do, and I know you're saying it's not a heel versus baby, but in this particular case, it will work perfectly. Just make sure Kawa, the Asian chick, turn on her, and that's it. There's so much background between those two girls. Just make her a bad person, and there you go. You got a rivalry again, similar to Mariah May and what Tony Storm had. It's the same thing. Mina Sharakawa would be the perfect person. You turn her into a heel, and she betrays Tony Storm because they've been together all this time. So just do it that way, and there you go. You have the same thing. It's not like you can't do it. That's what I'm telling you. Like when you start thinking about this stuff, like I don't know why Tony Khan doesn't go ahead and like come up with this stuff and just use it and try it out. You're not gonna lose fans if you try something out. The problem is what all of us have all been saying. Tony Khan just says, okay, yeah, you want to wrestle? There you go. Here, just wrestle. Have a nice day. And that's why AEW for a lot of people it sucks because they don't have good storytelling, and he's a yes man. He just basically says yes. He's a Mike McDaniel, bro. It's a Mike McDaniel. That's what he is.
All right, we got another WWE topic I wanted to discuss, but we went a little long on.
Yeah,
we went longer on the AEW talk than I thought we would, but I didn't realize Josh and Frankie were so smitten with AEW that the conversation went so long. But the WWE Tag Team division, I want to get your guys' insight on that. As far as now, the Usos are now the Raw Tag Team champions. I believe the Wyatt Six are still the SmackDown champions, although they've been a lot longer than I thought. I thought right after Halloween Horror Nights they would lose that. But they somehow keep on with the titles. For you guys, I'm going to say my piece first, and then I'll send it over to you guys. I think they need to do what they do with the women's tag team titles and make one and have it defended on both brands, because they had so many tag teams in the SmackDown era. They even did a TLC match. Can't remember if it was actually just a SmackDown or if it was a Saturday Night Main Event or a pay-per-view. You had 6 or 7 tag teams, a little too much for the match, but in a TLC match, and then all of a sudden, one by one, those tag teams fall off just like out of nowhere. The Street Profits are gone. Gargano's, or not Gargano, Ciampa's gone now. You're watching, I don't know what happens with the what's the crew? The Spanish crew. Phantasmo, whatever the heck they are. They're in and out every couple months. They go on hiatus. I don't know. And then you go over to Raw, and you've got the Usos now as the champions. You got New Day, and then you just kind of throw together tag teams. So for me, I don't like using the unification word, but I think it's time to do that, and then just build a tag team division as much as you can, because right now to me it's garbage. It's garbage when I look at the tag team division in WWE compared to, again, what they've had in the past. It just feels to me like when you got to bring the Usos back together because you can't figure out what to do with them and give them the titles, I think that speaks volumes for itself. Bobby, we'll start with you on that. Your thoughts on the tag team division.
Took the words right out of my mouth, man. That's exactly what I was going to say. Was I think they should eliminate one of the belts and make, and probably the belt on SmackDown, and maybe let the Usos be the sole champions, and then just build up that division on both brands or all 3 brands. And that way we get to see possibly some quote unquote dream matches. You know, you get to see an NXT tag team against a WWE tag team. I think that would be the best foot forward. I know Josh has a lot of opinions on this because he shared them vocally in the past in regard to the tag team division. But I think the right move was, again, to put the belts on the Usos to get people caring about that division. I know Frankie was talking about earlier, bringing up Jey Uso. They put the belt and he failed. I don't think that was the case. I think, especially in-house, when you look at him live in arenas, fans are still going crazy. They're still singing his music. He's still a megastar. He was in that world title match with CM Punk. He hasn't died out. He did his job. He won the belt. The fans loved him in-house. Internet crowd hated him for as much as they did. But he did his job. He didn't need the belt forever. He dropped it. They were able to move on to the other story. And now, because of who he is and his brother and how, future Hall of Famers, they give them the belt to legitimize those belts. And now they're probably, they're saying, the Hardys are like, what would be great? A triple threat tag match. Hardys, the New Day, the Usos at WrestleMania. Everybody would love to see that, So I'm with you 100%. If you're going to unify them, I think you should unify them. Usos on top and let the Usos be the lead dogs in the division. And I think there's plenty of tag teams that you could put there to make it legitimate. I would love to see WWE, wrestling in general, but WWE put a little more importance in the tag team division again. I used to love the days when you had, this WCW, but Harlem Heat and, you had all these great tag teams, even WWF back in the day. You don't have that anymore. There's few and far between. Usos are one, New Day is the other. So yeah, I'm with you. I think you hit the nail on the head with unifying it, one division.
Josh, go ahead for you, and we'll leave Frankie for last.
Yeah, so it's hard for me to invest in tag team wrestlers as a whole because of stories. It's hard. Like, when's the last time we've seen a good story in tag team wrestling? It's tough. The best story in tag team wrestling are who's going to turn on who, or two stars get together and can they coexist, right? The best tag team I could think of back in the day was like Rock and Sock. That was fun. The Steiners are great. Yeah, FTR is great. Yeah, these guys are great, but what's more fun? So they can fix the tag team division. I think they're doing a good job on it, really. Like, if you actually do like a Bronson Reed and a Logan Paul, two legit superstar main eventers, I think they should face the Usos at some point. I think I love the idea of Finn Balor and JD McDonough being tag teams still. They work great together. They match well together. Penta and his brother, Ray Phoenix, yes, thank you for saving me there. They need to get together. They need to find something for Penta because he, unfortunately, has been lost in the mid-card, in my opinion, and I think he'd work so well. Like, if him and Dragon Lee just went off and did a thing, I'd be okay with that. That'd be a fun tag team to watch. They can have matches against the Usos. So they can fix it, but, like, it's a Band-Aid until they actually, like you said, unify the titles or put the titles together and have a floating division. Because honestly, that adds more story, too. Because now you can have a floating tag team champion, and that person is allowed to be on both shows, even though they do it anyway. But now there's a reason for them to be on shows and can have different tag team matches. So I think it's perfect. I think the way you broke it down is perfect. Unify them. That's it.
Mr. Fresco?
All right, well, you guys might think I'm like the rotten apple here because I disagree. And the reason I disagree is not because I just want to disagree for the hell of it. It's because the WWE has money and they want to make more money. And what has the WWE been doing? They've been adding stupid ass shows like Saturday Night Main Event, the opening of Netflix, the opening of this, the opening of that. If you unify the titles, that's actually going to create less opportunity to make more matches for some of these events. Now, and this is including the pay-per-views, this is including the regular Monday Night Raws and the regular SmackDowns. That's why I don't think it would be a good idea for them to unify them. That's my first reason. Now,
but Frank, let me ask you real quick before we go on. How many times have you seen the tag team titles defended on a pay-per-view?
I knew you were going to go that route.
I'm sorry,
Sean, I was literally dogging in the co-pilot.
I knew you were going to go that route. I get it. And they should put them in the pay-per-views because that would make sense. Here's the reason why it's not being defended at pay-per-views. Because they don't have a tag team that has actually elevated the tag team belts to make them relevant. Josh just finished saying it. Like, there is nobody out there, and they had to give it to the Usos again because the Usos are the only good legitimate tag team. I mean, there was one point in time when they had both belts, so they had both the SmackDown and the Raw ones, right? So here's the thing: how do you correct this? You need to make another strong tag team on the other brand. So you need a strong tag team other than the White Six guys, because the White Six guys, you see them once a blue moon. That's the problem. If you had like a Penta and a Ray Phoenix holding it down in Raw, and then you had the Usos holding it down in SmackDown, I bet you those tag team belts would be actually legitimate, defended, and actually entertaining. You guys forget that at one point in time, the crowd loved Randy Orton and bruh. Do you guys forget that? Those two guys were able to make an actual tag team.
RK Bro.
And we're actually entertaining. That's why and you know that. What is his name? I forgot his name, bro. The
Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle sucked. He was terrible. But because of the simple fact that he was actually with Randy Orton and they were able to make it entertaining, people actually tuned into it and said, yo, RK Bro is pretty good. So that's where you got to go with this. You got to go and get a legitimate little brand over there on that side, on the SmackDown side, where it comes to the tag team, and actually make those two characters really elevate and let the Usos do their thing on the Raw, and then people will tune into the tag team because they both will sell. Another thing I will say, I'll say one last thing before I let you go. I think the other thing that has hurt WWE is like they keep flip flopping with a lot of things, injuries. Like Pretty Deadly had the injury with the one of the guys. He just got off of surgery and stuff like that. You know, Ciampa, we don't know what has going on. I don't know what's going on now. Gargano's there. You know, the Street Profits, one day they're together, the other day they're off. Like it just feels like the WWE, like the people who write the stories are having a hard time, like making legit contenders where you're actually gonna be able to just make it simple. Just make it as simple as easy. Just put the two teams that we really like, the Usos and Penta Ray Phoenix together, and let them run. And that's it. And people will tune in.
What I was going to say was, I think the whole thing with RK Bro, though, was what Josh said. Everybody's waiting for Randy Orton to RKO his ass. And that's why it worked so well, because you kept waiting. Every time Riddle went through and did his thing, you were like, okay, is it coming? Let's RKO him. And it worked out very well for them. Again, you're watching the Squared Circle Digest. We got No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. Bobby and Josh on with us with FTSN. And guys, before we wrap up everything here, I want to get predictions of 2026. And since I've left Frankie for last on everything else,
great,
we're going to let Frankie go first on this one. And again, it doesn't have to be. I'm not asking you guys like to, do a 2-hour montage of what you think every title and everything else. Just give me a couple big predictions, hot takes you got for 2026.
Okay. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to do one for AEW and WWE because, I love AEW.
Oh, yeah. AEW. Make sure you hit TNA too.
Yeah, I'll throw in TNA for you guys.
AAA?
No, AAA.
New Japan?
No. We're not going that route.
CMLL?
My prediction.
NXT?
I could do NXT too. My prediction is on the WWE side, and I'm gonna tell you what I feel like it's gonna happen.
Spit it out, man. Spit it out.
I have the feeling that Oba Femi is gonna jump over to the WWE SmackDown and eventually end the year as the heavyweight champion. That's my prediction when it comes to that. And I do feel as well that Matt Cardona at one point in time will either hold the USA belt or one of the other subdivisional belts that they have in the WWE on the guy side. So those two guys are the ones I want to see, and I think that they're going to elevate them both. On the women's side, I think that on the women's side, when it comes to the WWE side, I don't see any changes going out there. I feel like Jade Cargill is going to continue to be the champion. I hope to see her get elevated, maybe get better, and maybe bring her some talent. My prediction when it comes to Jade Cargill is at one point in time at the end of this year, I think WWE will set up a Bianca Belair versus a Jade Cargill, which is what everybody wants to see. So I'm hoping that that's going to happen. Now, in the AEW side, my hope, and I'm praying to God, please, I think I could have said this like 20,000 times in this show. For the love of God, Will Ospreay, if you get healthy, give the guy the belt. So I'm going to go on a limb and say finally AEW will get it right. He will come off from injury and he will become, eventually by the end of the year, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And when it comes to the women, they're just going to be the same. I'm not going to talk about it because we spoke too long about those two girls, so it doesn't matter over there.
Bobby, go ahead. 2026 predictions.
So, since it's on the spot, I was thinking about him now. I'm going to go with the Rumble and kind of road into WrestleMania here. I'm going to have some fun here. Josh, I know he'll hold me to it. He has to give me some grace here because we'll do a Royal Rumble book in the Rumble episode. But I'm going to say Royal Rumble, Rollins returns, eliminates Breaker, takes away his chance to main event WrestleMania. Gunther wins the Rumble. Lesnar beats Punk. Gunther beats Lesnar at WrestleMania for the title. That would be my prediction. Josh.
I want to shoot myself after I heard that. I want nothing to do with Brock Lesnar and CM Punk or championships. Oh my goodness. But that's a Bobby prediction. So I got one for AEW, but I'll save that for last because I don't want to end. I don't want to start on this one. So WWE, I threw out a couple predictions, but I do think this because I want this. We have to see at some point in 2026 Cody and Punk in the ring, one-on-one, story, feud. I don't care who's baby. I don't care who's heel. We need to see it. We can't pull a Tony Khan. Like, don't let it go by. Someone can get hurt. We have them both healthy now. I think that's the top story in WWE. It doesn't need to be for a title. It just needs to be Cody versus CM Punk. So I think we're going to see that this year in 2026. On the women's side, I'm with you, Frankie. I don't think anything's changing. Nothing's going to surprise us. Nothing's going to be cool. We're going to see Bianca come back at some point. Who cares? Right?
Charlotte will break her dad's record. She'll win. She'll get the 17.
I thought you said she was going to break her or something, or leg or something.
No.
Listen, brother, she can dress like Ginny from Forrest Gump and be this fake little baby face. I'm still not buying it. I hate her still. And on the AEW side, you're right. Will Ospreay is going to win the World Heavyweight Championship from MJF. That is a fact, brother. And on the sad note, we will see someone break their neck in AEW this year.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God, bro. Come on.
Why? Did you see?
Come on, man.
We'll see you next
my
week
guy,
right here on the
Kyle
Sports
Fletcher almost die on Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, my brother called me.
100%. And if that crap keeps on going on in that company, that will happen on television. Yep. That's ridiculous. And it's going to happen 1 year. So why not 2026? 100% it's going to happen. It pisses me off, Frankie, dude, because we like Kyle Fletcher. We like these guys. And why are they doing this? It just drives me nuts. And I don't want to get into a whole debate about it because I'm fired up about it now. But, dude, I don't want to see it. But
yeah, but for you to say that, I mean, look, like Braun Breaker hit his head a couple of times too, and they're not doing like high flying stuff either over there. So it could happen.
No, anytime you leave your feet in wrestling, you're going to take a chance. But you can mitigate some of those risks by not doing a Spanish fly off the top of a cage.
Like, when's the last time?
You know what I mean? Like, there's times where, again, once you do a Spanish fly off the top of the cage, what's next? You get to the top of the cage and they got to build a scaffold so you can go up even higher to do it next?
When's the last time we saw belly to belly suplex outside the ring? Yeah. Like, when's the last time we've seen that? Like, because you don't want to see it anymore. And I honestly wish, and I'm not joking about this because I'm serious. I hate seeing shit like that. I hate it because I don't want to see it. Football injuries, hockey injuries. I hate that stuff. It sucks. But when you are in control, like you can't control a hit in hockey, like, right? Like, it happens. It's a sport. Football, it's a sport. You can't help if your leg's pinned and someone tackles you. But you are choreographing these matches. You are in control of these matches. And you're putting yourself at risk. And that's both companies, not just one. Both companies. Because we saw it. You mentioned it. Both companies. It's all companies at this point. Yeah. All of them. Mm-hmm. And it's for what, though? Like, what are we doing this for? I want to see these guys, like John Cena, walk away on his own terms. All of these guys. And women, too. That's it.
The thing is, Josh, and I think Sean has said this in a couple of our shows, like back in the day, we used to get like Hulk Hogan's leg drop. You know, it was something simple. And now everything is so elevated. I mean, every time I see Sol Ruka do her move or Javon Evans, I'm like, Jesus, one of these guys is going to get hurt as well. So, like, in every company. I agree with you in that, and I think that's the problem. I think, and that's the concern, because I think me and Sean spoke about this. What is next after that? Like, if they're elevating it like this, imagine in a couple of years when they feel like they need to elevate it even more. So I do feel like that's a very big concern, and God forbid, hopefully nobody ever gets hurt. But
That's
the
why
way we're
it's
going,
yeah, no, it's so true because it's a spot fest, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
Mhm.
who could, and that's why like I love listening to like Shawn Michaels, Scott Hall. You listen to what they were, when they do their shoot interviews. Like there's a one from Shawn Michaels, like right after he lost his smile, he was in a hotel, but he was talking about that because everybody said Mr. WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels, one of the, obviously one of the greatest of all time in the ring, and he was amazing. I mean, doing all types of moves, but he was always saying, when they were asking like, oh, what do you think about RVD? And he's like, less is more. Build it up. You don't have to do all these crazy things right away, and because then you're wondering, wait a second, what's next? Because now you got to top that move because you're not going to do the same thing because people will get bored. It's the same thing. But guess what? The more you do, you're taking away from your storytelling, but also you're susceptible to hurting yourself. That's why, Sean, you were bringing up Dusty Rhodes and the NWA. I've told Josh this before. Obviously, I wasn't around when Dusty was NWA, but I remember I used to go to Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, and I would rent old WrestleManias and old Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair tapes, and I mean, I love old school wrestling. I would say I'm a student of I love watching all that, and that's one thing I loved about it was. Again, yeah, storytelling outside the ring, building a character, which you had to. You had a microphone, the guy would talk to you. You'd have to tell a whole story right there. Tony Schiavone, whoever's holding that mic, Gordon, whoever, and you got to tell a story right there. But then when you're in the ring, you got to tell a story. You got to make it believable. Like Terry Funk, Ric Flair, the I Quit match. That was, that story itself was awesome in the ring, but also before. I think Terry Funk was a commentator or was an announcer or whatever, and he went to interview Ric Flair, and then he attacked Ric Flair. And I mean, if you would have saw that pile driver on the table now, you'd be like, "Oh my god, that's that's." No, but then you think about it, like, holy crap, no, that's real deal. That's a real table. That's not a giveaway table. That was hardcore when there was not really hardcore. That was the difference between now and then. They were taking care of each other. Like you'd go back and then you go, they're trying to kill each other. No, they're really trying to take care of each other, but they would leave the bigger stuff for those moments. You give them a little taste, makes the fan, and then you're actually kind of protecting yourself. Nowadays, Frankie, like you were saying, they keep trying to up themselves. One day you're gonna have that thing where somebody does some crazy move, it looks great, but then the guy's not getting up. And that's scary. That is scary. And I wish that's AEW, young guys in NXT to WWE. You're right. You go. You want to get bigger. You want to have a long career. You want to be successful. Less is more. So that way, when you do those crazy things, that one thing that you did in a match, everybody's talking about that one moment, not the whole, you go, oh yeah, he does that every show. We're seeing the same thing over and over again. The RVD flips in the corner and then the hit, it's those little things. So we'll see.
Well,
man.
we saw it on Raw, like Braun Breaker when he botched the
yeah,
the
that was
Frankensteiner,
miscommunication. That yeah, and but it's true. And that's the thing.
Scary.
It's just that one moment, that one mistake. The belly to belly in the back, or that it wasn't like they were trying. It was a botch. It's a thing where it's like, it's not gonna happen all the time, but there's just one little moment. But the problem is a lot of these guys now, there's botches, and then there's choreograph where you're like, hey, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this flip, and I want to do it where it looks like I'm gonna, do like kind of like the suplex. And my brother was just telling a story right now where, last night, calls me. He's like, he calls me 20 times. I'm coaching my son's basketball team. I'm doing all this stuff. He bugs me all the time. And he's in Arizona right now doing a show for $1 Million Quartet, but he's training in a wrestling there. He does CCW training in Miami. So when he goes to all these other places, he's training. So he's like, I got big news. Call me. I'm like, dude, it's midnight. I just got into bed. He's like, that's all. I was all right. So he has his first match in March, and he's telling me that this one guy, can't fall. There's this one big guy. They say, "Oh, do a suplex," and the guy can't do it. And, he's trying to do a suplex, and he almost, what do you call? I'm trying to think of the move where you suplex, but it looks like a
Brainbuster.
Yeah, yes, like a spike. And they went on him, and he goes, "Well, I'm not a gymnast. You don't need to be a gymnast to do that. Fall on your back." But those are the type of things where that's the mistake. If you can't do it, don't do it. You're gonna kill somebody. So yeah, man, it's a risk. It's risky, man. It's like just less is more. That's always what I always say. Less is more.
Yeah, and also the one thing too is wrestling went from trying to make it look like a sport to now trying to prove it's entertainment.
100%.
And that's
100%.
where
Love
a
that.
lot of this has kind of changed. Whereas like back in the day, remember the Briscoes used to win with a spinning toe hold.
Yeah.
They would just wrap, they wouldn't even put the whole figure four. They would just keep wrapping the leg around until you gave up. Harley Race would win with a suplex. Like, Paul Orndorff was just one pile driver. Jake Roberts was one DDT.
Yep.
It wasn't 6,000 super kicks, 300 GTSs, and then we try to hit or whatever, It's just like sometimes, and then another thing too, adding onto it is where I think the problem, and again, this is where the difference between WWE and AEW, although WWE does allow it to get to a point, but AEW, their first match will go out there and be, jumping off of anything. And now what's the second match supposed to do?
Yeah.
And then the third match, and then the fourth match. And now you're going, by the time you get to match 10, one, the crowd's burned out. And what the hell else? What can you do after you've watched everything else? You should have a build into the show. You can break it down into 2 shows by doing, a segment A, a small independent shows. You kind of do it in 2 shows. You got a kind of like the semi-main event leading to intermission, then you come back and build it back up to the main event and things like that, which I know that gets intermissions and things like that involved, but it just feels like, how do you top when you got a guy, guys and gals? I mean, Frankie talks about it all the time, that the blood and guts women's match. Like, I mean, they stomped on glass and was just stomping on each other's body. I know, we know what it is, but it's like, okay, so now what do you do after this?
You have more
What's
people.
the next blood and guts match going to do?
But this is the thing also, I want to ask you guys, because maybe you guys tune into it as much as I do. But the whole, putting these companies all together, right? Like, I've noticed that WWE has done it. So as AEW do it a lot. New Japan wrestlers coming over, a lot of the Mexican wrestlers coming over. Those are, at least from what I've seen from New Japan, I do see some of those risky takes over there as well. And I do see more risky takes in the Lucha Libre. So do you guys feel that maybe those are reasons that influence now the United States showing entertainment of like, hey, more high flying, more high stuff, because that is being done a lot in those leagues than in the WWE. So WWE's, because now if you look at it, WWE is letting them high fly a little bit more, and then obviously AEW goes extreme. So do you think those are affecting, and that's why you're seeing more high flying moves on both sides of these companies?
I don't think it's only affecting it, it's what they've become. Will Ospreay trained in Japan. Most of those guys for AEW work. Kenny Omega, the Bucks, they're from Japan. The AAA guys, a couple of them signed with WWE, took the mask off, and now they've been, working, the Sin Caras and everything else. So they've brought their influence into it. But I mean, it's already been there. And then you get your Will Ospreays. These guys are athletic as hell. That's the other thing that, like, if you look at like 80s, back in the day, Florida Championship Wrestling, you had guys that were big. But then if you had a Tony Atlas, that dude was a statue. That's a god because he was chiseled. Everybody was big. But then you had the muscular guys. Now everybody's just, it was just muscular. Now everybody's just athletic. You got Javon Evans, Will Ospreay. I mean, Will Ospreay isn't that muscular. Swerve's not that muscular, but they're athletic as hell. Seth Rollins. I mean, he says he stopped lifting weights and just does his training, whatever it's called, he's not even really lifting weights. He's just doing all the, CrossFit that he does. And John Morrison does all the parkour stuff to keep his core and everything else. It's just, they're just so much more athletic today. But at some point, and this is where, VKM, for all the hell he caught, and everybody's saying he didn't care about the wrestlers, when you look back at it, he wasn't allowing a lot of this stupid shit for this reason. Because he knew, okay, I got to pay these guys. If they're not out, if they're injured, I lose them.
Yeah.
I don't get the Hulk Hogan's. I don't get the Andre the Giants. I don't get all this stuff. And now, you're looking at guys, Will Ospreay. AEW got a good year and a half out of him, 2 years, and now you're probably going to lose him for a year, and hopefully he can make it back and be stronger.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, we lost Kevin Owens as well with all those fights with Cody Rhodes and all that stuff. So it varies. I will say this: hopefully they could steal a play from Gunther, right? Because Gunther is the type of wrestler that doesn't do any high fly moves. Gunther's more of the guy of the submissions, more of the chops, all that stuff. So maybe if they go that route, old school, maybe that'll help them for their careers too, because you want them to go for 10, 15, 20 years wrestling instead of just 10.
There was a wrestler, and again, I don't know if he made it up, but everybody always talks about Terry Taylor. And his whole saying was, you only have so many bumps on your bump card as a pro wrestler. You never know which one's going to be. It could be a simple bump, and you never know which one's going to be your last one.
Yeah, that's a good point. Definitely.
Sorry to bring the tone down, but like you said it right there, and I won't say anymore, but Kevin Owens. I forgot about Kevin Owens, Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson. What is the common denominator? One thing. It's their neck, and it's too young. They're too young for that. They're just too young.
Well, you saw. Remember the video of Tiffany Stratton where she almost broke her neck too when she was, I think, doing off a ladder or something?
Yep.
Well, she was trying to hit the rope. Yeah, she's trying to hit the rope and go over. And if you watch the actual PLE match, she doesn't step on the rope. She just goes straight from the ladder.
Remember that time Adam Cole almost died on Dynamite when you got power bombed on the apron? Yeah. Seriously, that's not a joke. Yeah. Like, it's one mistake.
Yeah, because you when you leave your feet, you're trusting the person with your body, man.
Yeah,
I'll never forget back in the Attitude Era, Bob Holly and Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
Bob Holly, didn't get up, and Lesnar just freaking spiked him on his neck, man. Put him out for about 7-8 months.
What WWE needs to do and AEW needs to do is they need to take a book from CCW. If I'm not mistaken, this past weekend they had one of the Bushwhackers pull down his pants and had to go ahead and get his ass kissed by one of the wrestlers. Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Eddie Valentine.
Yeah. Eddie Valentine. There you go. You got to kiss his ass back in the day.
Bobby, you said something about CCW. Who was that you were talking about? Was CCW you said?
My brother. My brother is training with CCW.
What's his name? Down here in Miami?
Yeah, Nick. Yeah, my brother Nick. He does training there. Always talks about Gangrel and all that other stuff. He calls me for everything, and he'll tell me. And again, I never trained wrestling, but I know, I studied. I loved it. We used to do backyard wrestling, and we'd run it like that. And so he'll tell me these things, and we'll kind of run it through. And but yeah, that's what he's doing right now. But he is a performer, so he was just in Indianapolis as Elvis in. I'm trying to remember the name of the show now. Crap, what the hell? Heartbreak Hotel. He was there for a few months, does that, and then but where he goes is he'll find a school and go train there. And right now he's in Arizona right now, and he found a school there, and that's where he's training. And he's just been training, doing that. He hasn't had his first match, but he's going to have his first match after that show is done. Because since he's doing he's doing Elvis and he's doing his $1 Million Quartet, they don't let him do all that, but he's doing the training on the side. So as soon as that contract is done, he's going to have his first match, and he's very excited. So.
Well, keep me updated because that CCW's right down here. We've been to a couple of the shows, so
for sure, man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, brother.
We actually had Nelio on the show once as well, the owner. But that does surprise me of Bobby because he says that he did backyard wrestling, but he doesn't find AEW entertaining. I don't get it.
Well, okay. He still told stories in the backyard. They didn't.
It's it's 100%. We didn't just go there and start smashing guys. Like I watched backyard. I watched somebody I go, let me see this because it brings me back to my childhood. When I watch these guys come out, but then they're like hitting each other with light bulbs and shit. I go, what a bunch of idiots! What a dumb. But we used to we go again. My brother will be on our show in a couple of weeks. Not this weekend, but I think the next weekend. I have it planned out, and I'm sure we'll talk about it. But break into character. Because I do this all the time. I could play the heel on my show because I love playing the heel. I was the immortal one, Robert Michaels. I still am. 14-time heavyweight champion. All right. And I'd do anything to win. You call me cheater, call me whatever you want. I'm still winning. So we'd have fun. We do all this shit. Now I'll say that when he's on the show, but he'll always say, oh, because you'd pick your name out of a hat or you'd write the storylines and you would have to win. Hey, win's a win, brother. A win's a win. You know what I'm saying? Like a win's a win,
He
bro.
booked himself to be the
Jeff scared
champion.
over here.
You
But
damn
look,
heel.
I'll tell you, look,
you really are a heel. You booked
I'm
yourself to be the
damn
champion.
right, brother. You damn.
Triple
I'm like,
H.
hey Sean, let's tag tonight, bro. Let's go ahead, let's work together. Let's beat this guy's ass. Then we'll get like, all right, bro, let's go. As soon as you start beating on it, I'm gonna catch you from behind. Bah! Get you out of the ring. It's like, I'll do it, man. No shame in my game, brother. No shame in my game.
Jeez.
We had fun. It was a good day. It was a good time. I'm paying for it now. You know, my body's goes, do you have any traumas? I got a torn rotator cuff, my labrum teared. I'm like, you know, I had no car accidents. Like, what the hell happened to you? I don't know. And I think about it, I go, oh shit, I know what it is.
well, that's the thing too, is like everybody talks about the injuries that are happening now. But if you look at the guys that did nothing, Hulk Hogan, 2 knee replacements, hip replacements,
back surgery 1,000 times.
Yeah, Roddy Piper. Like all they weren't doing flips and they still
Frankie brought it up.
Bodies.
Frankie brought it up, the leg drop.
Yeah.
You know, you
the
look at the leg
things,
drop and you're like, leg drop won't kill you. Leg drop's not going to hurt you. No, that up his back. You know, and eventually it killed him because that's, you know, it was a messed up surgery that messed it up.
Yeah.
And you know, another thing is that's happening as well, guys, is that nowadays they'll do a finishing move and they'll kick out. And then they have to do a finishing move like 3 or 4 times in order to pin the guy. And you're like, damn, like we don't want that either. So all those things are just.
I love that. It's true, man. That's one of the things I hate. Like a false finishes could be good if like if it's one time and it's like, whoa, you know, he what, you know, but like every time you do it, like how many Cody freaking what's that, Crossroads, and you know, it's like after a while it's like, and then finally you beat him. You just did 3. Now you did the one more and that one, and it didn't look as good as the first one. You know, that's a problem with me. You know, I remember what really got me, that made me think, was when I was listening to Jake Roberts one time, and he was so pissed that the DDT is so used now. He goes, man, back in the day, that was deadly. When you hit the DDT, you were done. It was over.
Nobody used it either, by the way. Only Jake.
He started it, yes.
Yeah.
But now everybody uses it, and it's nothing.
Now everybody used it, but back then, Jake, nobody else used it on the card. Nobody was dropping anybody else. Paul Orndorff, nobody was doing pile drivers if Orndorff was on the card. You know, that's the things. It's like you made those moves mean something because you weren't doing them as much. Now it's...
Well, like the sweet chin music. If people, I wish Shawn Michaels come back, wrestle AJ Styles. Like I was like, guys, look, imagine Shawn Michaels did do one more match, which I don't think anybody wants to see right now. Like, you know, whatever. But let's say if he did this, if he got ready to hit that, does the sweet chin music, as I'm messing up my hip even more. If he does the sweet chin music, do we really believe he's about to win that match?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean,
you know why? When Ric Flair put people in the figure 4, when it was being overused by everybody, we saw woo because that's his signature move. It counts more. He has more power.
For us who grew up in it,
Ric Flair's thighs and quads are better than yours.
That's right, brother.
He never really kind of won with that, by the way. But you know, but I will say, I mean, the super kicks are nothing now. It's everybody does them. It's ridiculous. You know, it's fun. It's you know. Keep smacking the leg, but after a while it's like, okay, what is it? It's just a move now.
Was it last night on Raw? I think it was Penta and Dragon Lee, right? Double super kicked everybody in the ring out right before Braun Breaker came in and speared him. They were super kicking everybody out. It's like it's
okay. It's like, what is it?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, Bobby, Josh, we want to thank you guys for joining us again. It's the No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast on FTSN, and you guys are welcome. How do you say "our casa, tu casa"?
Tu casa, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you say "our" though in Spanish. So, mine and Frankie's house is your house. Anytime you guys want to come on, we thank you guys for coming on and let everybody know more about what they can get from the wrestling podcast and anything else you guys got going on.
Josh.
Bobby's the boss over at FTSN. I just tag along on Saturday nights. We also have a secondary wrestling show on Finstock Extra where it's myself, Clutch, who's overseas, and my buddy from high school or middle school, El Ginger Americano. We talk. It started off as an AEW podcast. Now it's an everything podcast. Yeah. And I also do some fantasy football content. So if you're addicted to fantasy football, check us out. Fantasy Now Plus. We're booming, baby. That's where everybody's going these days.
Yeah, and in regards of just Finstock Sports Network, FTSN, we got, you know, the football seat for at least the Dolphins are over, but not for FTSN. I got Finn's Talk today. Tomorrow, we'll be talking about the head coaching search as the list continues to grow and kind of narrow down whatever our preferences, how do we see it playing out. We got our draft content already started. Me and the guys, Josh Wingate and Coach Vogel, are scouting. We're watching film. We're doing our rankings. We got that going on. We did our first episode on Monday night. Hopefully, once Josh gets back, we'll get back into it on the next week. So, and then just basketball, Heat, wrestling. We got it all in FTSM. And baseball, college football, the Hurricanes are in the national championship. There you go for Frankie right there, brother. Come on, man. It's not too late. Do it. Do it. Hey, do it. Frankie.
We do this one for Frankie.
Frankie's awesome, man. Frankie's awesome. But anyway, poor Frankie. But as soon as we got it, it's like right on him, dude. He's like, do you agree on anything? What was your wrestling? Okay. I'm a WCW. I was a WCW guy growing up. Like I was a WCW guy. Frankie? What were you growing up? What like kind of made you fall in love with wrestling?
Definitely WWF.
WWF. Okay.
Yeah. Back in the day.
Who was your guy, Josh?
I used to go. So when I was a JIT, and I think I told this to Sean, when I was like 5 years old, I never saw Dusty. I never saw any of those guys. So there was a video store next to my house. So I would tell my dad to take me to the video store. And like my dad would tell my sister, hey, you're going to rent one and your brother will pick one. And then my sister would go get like a Disney movie or some crap. And I'm like, no. We got to get wrestling. And we would grab the wrestling section. And I made my sister watch wrestling when we were like, because there's a 2-year gap between me and her. So we would watch wrestling. So my sister knows like a lot of history of back in the day of the wrestling in the 80s and the 90s. And that's what we would do. We would just watch wrestling. And that's how I caught up with WrestleMania 1. And
yes, that's the same here. I love the old WrestleMania music. I could listen to that all day, the classic WrestleMania music. Who was your favorite wrestler growing up that you watched in WWF?
For me, it was definitely between Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker.
Gotcha. From classic WWF. That's you're talking about Golden Age. Okay, love it. I love it. That's the same with me. Josh, Jericho, WCW.
97, 98. Jericho was what brought me into wrestling. That's why I'm so critical about him, but he is the reason why I stayed with WCW and why I watched it. And my dad's upset. I'll never forget. I was a young child in middle school, and he goes, Dan Marino's on Monday Night Football, and you're watching these. He said a bad slur. And I said, Chris Jericho. And he goes, but Dan Marino's on TV and you're watching this. And I said, Dad, I'll watch it after Jericho's done. And I did. Because Jericho at that age in middle school was my idol of rock and roll. I love Jericho. So that's what kept me in there. And then I switched to WWF when Jericho switched. And I watched AEW when Jericho went there. I'm a Jericho sicko fan.
Jerichoholic. Now, I will say, too, again, I was the same, Frankie, and you said JIT, and that brought me back, too. I haven't heard that in years. So when I was a JIT, I was like, holy shit. Sorry, I haven't heard that in years, bro. But I will say, it was the same. I would go and Blockbuster or Hollywood Video if I was going to my dad's other week. My dad lived in Coral Springs. I was in Hialeah. But if I was in Hialeah, it was Blockbuster. When I was in Coral Springs, I was Hollywood Video. But I would rent the old WrestleManias and Survivor Series, and of course Hulkamania and Macho Man, and then you'd go to and when it came to WCW, the old Fall Brawl War Games and whatever, and then I would watch WCW at home. So my favorite, of course, growing up, Hollywood Hogan, and I was Hulkamania all the way, the Randy Savage, all the classic guys. I love them all, and of course I was a WCW mark all the way through until Hogan left, and then it was dead after that. But anyway, what about you, Sean?
Larry Zbyszko, from Florida, 1985. Dusty Rhodes versus Kevin Sullivan.
There you go. I was close. I said Larry Zbyszko. I was almost there. With Dusty Rhodes.
Angela Mosco, Barry Windham, young Barry Windham, Blackjack.
There you
Mulligan,
go.
All that stuff, man. And then Sunrise Musical Theater down here, Miami Beach Convention Center. Of course, they did Tampa, which was funny because when I became a wrestler, I wrestled in the War Memorial and I wrestled in Miami Beach Convention Center. And then they took me to see where the championship wrestling from Florida was videotaped, or the show was taped. And it was in the back of a furniture store. They took it out. They put 20 benches in there. And they brought in the little crowd, and they got dressed in the thing, and they'd walk through the door. That's why when they opened the door, you could see the light outside, but it was dark in the studio, and they had it set up for interviews and everything else. It was just crazy, man.
That's cool.
It was crazy to see that and do that. And
How many people were there?
they only had 20. There's benches for 20 people. It was the old school park benches. They would bring them in, and they'd sit about 20 people in like a dark. Like you couldn't really see. You could hear them, but you couldn't see them. The only light was on the ring.
That's epic. That
was it. That was good stuff back then, and that's when really. I know Dusty used to always say it. You got to talk them. You got to talk the asses into the seats. And you did that on TV because you never had good matches on TV. You had one. It would be like Brian Blair versus Scott McGee would be your main event on TV, but you'd have Dusty wrestle somebody. Then you get attacked by Kevin Sullivan or Angelo Mosca to set up the whole loop that they're about to do. Because then you go to the Hollywood, Sportatorium, and you can watch Dusty take on, Joe LaDuke or whatever, and they talk you in by doing what they did on the show. So that's when wrestling to me was wrestling, And now it's more entertainment. It's not really a sport as what they try to protect. But I want to thank you guys so much for coming on. We probably went a lot longer than you had anticipated on being on. But I do want to thank you. Frankie Fresco, actually, I never said, can you let them know where they can get a hold of you too, sir?
Yeah, man. So my channel, Frankie Fresco, this show is also being televised on the Frankie Fresco channel. So don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe. All you guys, we have over 100 viewers on X. So if you guys could be more than welcome to, as generous as possible, as to go on the YouTube side, hit us like, hit the subscribe. And for anybody who catches the replay, also, if you could do that as well. And then you guys could catch me all, social media. I'm actually, next week, Sean, I'll still be able to do the show, but next week I will be heading out to Los Angeles for, you guys know I'm a DJ, so I'm going to be in Los Angeles for this big show convention. They have it every year called NAMM. They promote a lot of speakers and sound, and all the big companies are there, all the wigs. I'm actually going there. And as part of the DAS company. The DAS is a speaker company based out of Spain. They one of my friends got promoted to go there, so he's bringing me along with him. So we're both heading out there, and we're gonna check it out. So I'll be pushing out content like crazy on my social media platforms. So if you guys want to follow me as well, like I said, on all Instagram, X, all that, I'm going to be posting a lot of stuff since this is going to be the first time I'm going to be going to this particular show. And your boy's DJing as well. So I'm going to be taking my 360 camera and pretty much showing you guys everything about the show and myself as well. So tune in. It should be exciting. Like I said, it's going to be next week. So definitely check it out. And obviously, don't forget to check out my boy Sean Stanley's channel as well, Stanley Media House. He's always there. Even though he doesn't agree with me, even though he doesn't love me, even though I felt like I was getting destroyed by all three of you, I appreciate all three of you guys here with me tonight. So thank you guys for being part of the show tonight.
Yeah,
thanks for having us.
It was fun.
We wouldn't have won it any other way, Frankie.
2 hours. That's nothing, brother. It flew by. This was like the best episode of wrestling television all week, brother.
We could have got a lot longer. I could tell.
Probably, yeah. You check me out at SS_Sports Talk on X, Stanley Media House, everywhere else. Go to the YouTube channel, Stanley Media House. Hit the like, hit the follow, hit the subscribe. Check out the Frankie Fresco YouTube channel. And then also head over Finn's Talk Sports Network. Go and hit that subscribe. Hit the notification bells because they got stuff going on all the time over there. Bobby, Josh, thank you guys so much for your time. Frankie Fresco. Until next week, in the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the Sunshine State.
The Squad Circle Digest!